Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Welcome, 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 ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum. I am your host, Dylan Murray. Alex is away on assignment. He, and I quote, is at a Bring Me the Horizon concert in an attempt to convince Bea Priestley to return to Stardom. That is why he is gone. So I am, of course, joined by friend of the show, honorary third man, Scott E. Wrestling. Scott Edwards. How are you doing, my friend?
You absolutely. I was trying not to laugh while you said that. I was trying to respect your great opening, but I had to mute myself. But hello, everyone. You couldn't have picked a more uneventful week. From actually, it ended up being eventful, but originally it was not. But thank you for having me. I'm happy to fill in for Alex. I will try to be as sassy as Alex is. I will not succeed, but I will try.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, it's actually quite funny because Alex was like, "Oh, well, I could leave this. I mean, it's a Sendai Pit preview. It's reviewing the Stardom Awards. Like, oh, who cares?" And
Yeah.
then his favorite wrestler's faction died and got reborn. So
It's crazy that Alex's favorite wrestler is Mina.
a little bit, but
Like, ever
I'm.
since Alex decided Mina was his favorite, Mina has been on an absolute downhill spiral.
It's been pretty funny. It's been pretty funny. The Irish love Mina. The Irish love Mina. It's also funny because at one point Alex was like, "I think Mina should get out. I I don't think she needs to be here no more." And I
Oh,
was
I
like, "She's
remember
not
that.
that bad." Like, Jesus, okay. And
And
then
now look
here
at
we
him.
are. Here we are. If when I say, she had a bad 5 star, I get I get screamed at.
I don't
Uh,
remember any of her 5-star.
it was it
I
was
remember the Utami match that let me down.
yeah, and then it kept being like that. But that's enough of that. Alex, I'm sure you're loving editing this while you are away on vacation. Um, Yeah, I mean, today is because I'm hosting and I'm me. I'm not as good of a host as Alex is. That's why he hosts every week. It'll be a little bit more laissez-faire, I guess. I was told to bring up one news bit, which is that Stardom has added a couple days to the upcoming Cinderella Tournament tour. It's not confirmed if those shows will have heavy tournament matches, if they will be a lot, but it used to be, I believe, 3 shows, the opener, a middle round, and then the final. They have added 2 more. Let me see if I could find those. Why did Velke delete them? He sent them. Here we go. Yeah. So the Cinderella tour used to be week and a half, about 10, 11 days. It is still only 11 days, but now there are additional shows. Cinderella tour will be March 9th, March 10th, March 16th, March 17th, and then the final on the 20th of March. So it'll be more similar to how last year's was, in the sense that I imagine there will be tournament matches in Himeji, which is a smaller arena, and Maibara, which is also a smaller venue. So it will be more similar to last year's than maybe I was hoping, but it's a Cinderella tournament. If it's good, it'll be good. If it's bad, it'll be bad. That's just kind of how that works.
I know. I understand why they do so many dates, right? Because they have so
Mhm.
many matches in the tournament. But I really do think like the perfect scenario is a 2-day run of it now. I
I
think
mean,
they could get away with that.
as a big fan of U.S. Indies back in the day, and a big fan of U.S. Indie tournaments, I never understood why they can't just do like a 3-day weekend. Like a
Sure.
like
Yeah.
like Bola does, or like
Yeah.
a lot of companies do, honestly, especially in America. And they used to do that. They used to have
Mhm.
the like Osaka split shows, and they would do triangle tournaments on those, where it's like the first show in the morning they would have the first couple matches, and the second show later in the day would have the rest. I know they don't do splits anymore, which is a good thing. It's terrible for wrestlers to have to wrestle completely different matches
Yeah.
within hours of each other, just every month basically back in the day. I'm happy they don't do those anymore, but I don't really get why they space things out like they do when they still have so many shows. Like that's always been kind of my take on that. But um, yeah, I mean,
Well,
I'm excited for the Cinderella tournament regardless.
surely it isn't based off of like things we've learned over the past couple months. Um, I'm sure they're just trying to sell tickets with these shows, and that's ultimately why. Because like this past weekend, neither show went over 400 in attendance, and I
Yeah,
just think like they're gonna try to now avoid bundling shows more than anything, which I don't know how that's going to go, but I like your idea of like the 3 days type tournament run, mostly because I think with the Cinderella, like you kind of forget about it like after a week, and then they're like,
yeah,
"Oh, we're doing it again. Okay." And then when you get to the finals, now the finals past couple years, some have been really good shows and some have been kind of whatever.
less than that.
I've I'm hopeful because this is the only other pay-per-view between uh the Supreme Fight and Boontai that they kind of go all in on the finals again, but I guess I won't get my hopes up.
I feel like they have to, and that also does kind of give me some sort of excitement for who can be in the finals.
Sure.
Because like I think I don't know. Me and you did an entire show over on your 5-star Joshi show, talking about how we don't want to jinx the Cinderella, so we just don't say any names at all.
Right. We don't say
But
anyone.
I am interested in the field this year for the Cinderella, and I hope that Mirai doesn't just go three-peat. That's the hope there.
I
Um,
I'm gonna confidently say on this show, and the good news is I won't get act like I'm Alex. I won't get people coming at me if I say it. I'm confidently gonna say Mirai does not win the Cinderella this year.
big if
I
you.
know. I know. It's a big hot take. I get it. I get it. Pretty crazy, but I feel good about that. Maybe it's gonna be my fault in the end, which is fine. If she wins, you can blame me at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter/X. Just come at me. It's
Good
okay.
plug. Good plug.
I'm not asking for her to win. There are specific people I want to win, which is why I'm not going to talk about them at this current
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, no, I tweeted it. I tweeted
I
one of
saw
them, and I'm
that.
just like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, no, it's
This
not
was a
happening
bad.
now,
This was a
bud.
bad decision. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, that's all of the news. Most of the news that we won't get to throughout the show. Obviously there were two shows this past weekend. There are two shows coming up. Um,
Do
again,
you
I
care
asked
about
Alex, "Hey,
ShuPro?
is it? Oh yeah, the ShuPro thing." I don't. I
Tam
feel
won
like
favorite wrestler, and I think that was the most noteworthy thing.
yeah. I mean, overall, right? Like it was favorite wrestler
Yeah, she
overall.
beat Naito.
That's disturbing. I'm gonna be real. Um, no, and like that is where my disconnect with Japanese fans is probably the biggest. I think
Tam?
is is the Tam of it all,
Yeah,
because it's like I
yeah,
get it, but I don't get it that much. You know, what I mean, it's like yeah, obviously
sure,
she's an idol, she's cool, she can have great matches, and she's a big storyteller type of, and like I get the things that make her cool,
sure.
but to make her get voted higher than Tetsuya Naito is
It's a
like
big deal.
that shouldn't happen. Like nobody should beat Naito realistically. Even my favorite wrestlers, it's like, yeah, but I mean it's Naito. So like Tam winning that specifically is miraculous, especially with the year
Stardom
she
did a
had.
great job in that one,
Yeah, no, 100%.
which wasn't
Uh
shocking. But I think if anything, it's more of a reminder of like how popular the Cosmic Angels were. Because Natsupoi was third.
yes. And then
I
Mina
think Mina
was
was 10.
top, yeah, top 10, top 15. And then even then Kid was still there. Like Stardom had a
Mai was
great showing.
14. Yeah.
Stardom had a great showing on the ShuPro list, no doubt.
It was a big win
Um
for you. Azumi made the top 25.
That was huge. That was huge for
Yeah.
me. I was like, see, she's not deeply unpopular like people like to pretend she is.
It was nice to see
Um,
Hazuki on there too.
well, we need Hazuki to win more things. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
we'll get to that.
one day, hopefully.
Well, no,
But
we'll
yeah,
get to her, big matches later. Just
oh
2
yeah,
now.
oh yeah, oh shit, yeah, we gotta talk about that. That's gonna be fun. And Hanako also won Newcomer of the Year, which was also a shock to me, honestly. Like I
Mm.
love Hanako. I'm a big Hanako fan. Me and you actually get into fights about Hanako. Um, because you're a Yuzuki guy, right? So like I'm
Yeah,
obviously
I'm on the right side of history. And then there's Alex who picked Runa, Kubo, and TJPW randomly.
yeah,
So random.
strange individual that co-host of mine. Love him though.
Oh,
Love him.
uh, yeah, I mean, I think Hanako is really benefiting from the new rookies because it's making her
Oh, 100%.
hungrier, and
I
I
think
just
that's the
think she's
exact
standing out
note
more.
I have at some point on this show.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
uh, cause yeah, it's just it really lit a fire under her ass. Just straight up, it did. Cause she's been pretty. She was never bad. I never really saw her as like, oh,
No.
she doesn't have it together. Sometimes her timing was a bit off, but it's like that's
Mhm.
just kind of being new, and that's fair. She has gotten a lot better since the rookies have come, just because she has a lot more, uh, for lack of a better word, passion, I guess, in these matches that she's having. So I'm happy Hanako got the award. I think she'll be a great foil for Yuzuki going forward,
Yeah.
and I think that the foils of this company, I talk about it with Ruaka a lot, are very underappreciated, right? Like
Mhm.
Ruaka is classically, and should be, if they both have long, fruitful careers, should be the foil to Hanan, because that's
Yeah,
always been like they've always been the yin and yang. That would just make
sure.
sense. So, but also Stardom doesn't always really lean into that as much as I think they
Mhm.
should. So that's kind of your fear with Hanako, is that it's like she's clearly figured opposite of Yuzuki. And Yuzuki definitely has a very high ceiling. So I wonder if that kind of relationship will allow her to be elevated to a
Yeah.
similar level to Yuzuki, maybe not the same level, but to a similar level, or if she will stagnate like Ruaka has in comparison to Hanan as of right now. Um, those are all little things that you think about when you think about these rookies and how they're doing. Because yeah, I'm very happy with Hanako's progress, and I think she's, um, as we're going to talk about with her in the Micah faction, it's going to be really great for her, and I'm really excited to see what she kind of comes up with going forward.
It's very apparent to me um, with those 2 that they want this to be something big, and I think that's, like, the most exciting part of it. They want these
Mm,
2 to actually have a story because so many times in Stardom through the years, you can just see, like, the undercard have nothing, do very little. I actually really enjoyed their match at, um, the finals at, the Triangle Derby
hmm
show. And it was just the beginning, right? Because now we're seeing the edgier, angrier Hanako, and I think that against what Yuzuki currently is will be a much not much better, but even better match, I should say. And I don't wanna disrespect that first one, all things considered. But at the same time, Hanako also is trying to, um, unfortunately for her, in a tough spot, replace Hameka,
hmm
which that's ultimately her role now. Once
replace
you
Sameka and Megan Bain, both of whom
Yeah.
have very cult followings, very cult
Mhm.
fan bases, but also kind of took the Stardom fan base by storm. Like they
Right.
really captured the love and the hearts of Stardom fans,
Yeah.
both in Japan and over here, like, and around
Mhm.
around the world. So it is a those are big boots to fill, no
Yeah.
doubt.
I think Megan's pop when we'll kinda talk about her later, obviously, because she's leaving, but her popularity, I think, came more out of nowhere. But, like, with Hameka, trying to replace Hameka and her importance alongside Micah even, I feel like makes it even tougher. Had she
Yeah.
stayed away from Micah, maybe it would be a different scenario for her, but I think that'll be one of the interesting things to see throughout 2024 here is what will she be able to do, now that she actually has a role? Because I don't wanna keep jumping ahead, but now that she actually has placement, I'm excited to see what comes of it.
No, totally. And we are jumping ahead a lot, so I think we should just get into the review portion of the show. There's only one show up on Star World as of this recording. Unfortunately, I thought they would get the other one up because like they got the 20th up pretty early. And I was like, oh, sick. That means we're gonna get to like watch all of it. No, um, just the 20th. So we will be going through this one match by match, and then the next one will kind of just be going through the cliff notes as well as we can. So yeah, this is the Stardom Awards 2023 in Baba. This is day one of the 2-day stint in Baba for this kind of special event. They do meet and greets and they do the awards. We'll go through the Stardom Awards in after both of these shows, and yeah, it's kind of like a whole festivity thing. Um, but as we were talking about, uh, not the greatest number in Baba. They got 369 fans in attendance, which you want more. Similar to that Osaka show earlier this year, or last week, I should say. Those two shows also below the mark of what they kind of want to be doing in Edion too. So, attendance is a ever present issue for Stardom starting 2024. We just we can only hope that they kind of get back on the horse when it comes to that sort of thing. Because
I'm really
369
interested.
isn't the best number.
I'm really interested to see what Supreme Fight ends up doing,
Hmm.
because they've loaded it up. It is their first like full on card in quite some time. I don't remember the last time, their roster felt that full, and the card kind of reflects that with multiple title matches, multiple important matches, and it's in Osaka. I believe they already have. I'm not checking, but last time I remember they had like 3 sections sold out. So it seems like it's going good, and obviously, with the new champions, it'll be interesting to see what they can do with their first pay-per-view as champions.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I do think that that's kind of like a benefit of the fewer big pay-per-views is that it's like this is like anticipated. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah,
like looking forward to this. It isn't just like, oh, it's a Star on pay-per-view this week. Damn, that snuck up on
right,
me. That's cool.
right.
Like I'm like excited for this card that's coming up in a couple weeks. Um,
It feels like the savior to it is, of course, the future Stardom title match. We haven't had one on a pay-per-view in
yeah,
years, so
yeah.
that's why it feels natural, of course. So,
I was also campaigning for a New Blood tag title match, but they did not put that on that card. Um,
no, they did not. Though they can't make the match that they did book a title match because of Saki, but, if Saki Kashima was like anyone else, they could have easily just said it was a New Blood tag.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But she is one of the
Ooh,
oldest blood in the company.
ooh, Ami Sourei and Rana Yagami. Just do it. Just poor
Would
Saki.
it, yeah,
Toss her in the
especially
three-way battle.
with the but Ami did just challenge. That's the issue.
Yeah, but shut up.
Okay.
Just
Uh
'cause you're right doesn't mean it's okay.
that's the Dylan way of life. Just because I'm right doesn't mean it's okay. Um
Alrighty then.
I just thought of a very specific example that oh man. Um anyways, the Stardom Awards day one. The first match of the show was Meg Bain defeating Uniman, Saki Kashima, and Lady C in 4 minutes. She F5'd all three of them and then triple pinned them. Uh Scott, I don't know if you remember this, but this isn't a callback per se, but it kind of reminded me of the day that
Yes. Yep.
Micah had a trios title match a couple years ago, and at the end she's just like, "Okay, I'm done," and she just hit the Michinoku
Mhm.
driver on all three of the Cosmic Angels she was facing and pinned them, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Okay,
It
bye."
she Megan combined the Micah destruction of the Angels, which is always that was a tales of the
It's a
time, and it
classic.
was one of the best, with the Roman Reigns stacking of Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania because
You
she
know, I
stacked
actually have
these
a
poor fellas.
there's a third influence, which is Viper. Piper
Oh, yeah,
Niven.
okay.
Back in the day, they used to give her these matches against the kids.
Yeah.
The issue is here is that instead of children, Meg demolished three grown women who have been wrestling for several years. Uh,
Yeah.
when you do it to kids, it's like not as disrespectful. This is a bit much.
Saki Kashima was just high speed champion,
Oh
and
yeah,
now she's just I mean, I understand what Saki's role is, but man, it was a
She's
rough look.
she's the perfect glass cannon, you know. And by
Yeah,
cannon, I mean not even a very powerful cannon. She just kind of
yeah,
is smart,
yeah.
which I
You
love
know,
her. I love her in her role right now.
I wasn't I wasn't as quick on like the all hail Megan Bain train as like Alex was, for example.
Mm, same,
Uh,
same.
but I'm really sad that she's leaving.
As am I.
Like she really won me over in the past, like ever since like the tag league final and on. I feel like she's been really good and finally found like who she wants to be as a wrestler. And like anytime you can bring like a Brock Lesnar type figure to a wrestling company, I just think it adds a lot of intrigue because when she lost to Julia, it was so well built up by her dominating Julia. We don't see that a lot. And dominating pretty much everyone that she ever faced. So it sucks that she's not going to be around anymore because I think the roster really enjoyed having her around. I'm not gonna get to see her and Mei Seira, do antics anymore. I think that's the biggest loss of them all, but it's
Definitely.
okay. It's okay.
I think I don't know if we talked about it last week on the show or if I talked about it separately. And I apologize to all the listeners if I did talk about this last week. Is that I think the big thing that will hold back Megan Bain's case as like a top gaijin in Stardom history is just her lack of a 5 star. Um,
Yeah.
which at the time I wouldn't have wanted her in the 5 star,
Right.
but like the lack of a major tournament. She had the tag league, but the tag league was play. I did say this last week. It was plagued by injuries. It was just
Mhm.
not. It wasn't a full tournament, quite frankly. Like I don't think any team had all of their matches. I don't think any of them were able to.
I don't think I
Uh,
even did, yeah.
so like it was a completely crippled tournament. So it it's difficult to kind of give Meg that credit because she missed uh, any major tournament, which is such a big deal in Japanese wrestling. I think that's the one strike against her because otherwise she's been getting better notably every week basically, and she's just become a real captivating member of the roster. And yeah, we'll talk about her departure match. We didn't get to see it, but they have a lot of notes on what she said and whatnot. So it'll be fun to kind of check that out when we get to it. But yeah, she just beat a bunch of people. She beat three, like I said, three grown women.
Yeah.
She stacked them up, and yeah, got to imagine that's a lovely point for Unimon's career.
I am, like, happy she wasn't in the 5-star just based on how they booked her.
Yeah,
Um, though,
she
like,
would have had to be like near the finals. That's the
she
issue.
would have been in the Natsuko role, essentially, that
Yeah,
Natsuko
yeah.
was in this year. Um, it would've been weird. It would've been weird. Like, if the 5-star was starting now, I'd absolutely want her in
Hmm.
because I think she would just be so great. But even so, it's like, how do you book around that? She's gonna have, like, what, a count out, maybe a single loss on, like, a roll up to, like, Azumi or something. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should put Mace there, and that's a big win for Azumi. Alright, I've come back around. I've come back around. Book her for the 5-star. AEW, give her back. Stoke,
Please. I was
Stokely,
about to say the
give
same
her
thing.
back.
It's like, hey Stoke, you a homie. You a homie. We you a real one. Send her back, please. Um,
I kinda
but
like
yeah.
that pairing though in AEW, but
Oh, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be
yeah.
sick. I'm really
I'm
excited
happy
about it.
that not to go on an AEW tangent, but this is Mega Bay, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy that Stokely's finally getting to actually be a manager, you
Oh,
know?
totally.
Like,
Totally. I mean,
he hasn't gotten to. Like, they put him with Jade for, like, 2 seconds, and they're like, "Yeah, you know what? Never mind."
and with somebody that's like good and needs a manager, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it should be a perfect fitting. If they don't figure it out, that's like on them. Like this is like
Well,
this is the perfect. I know. But this is like the perfect situation for both Megan Bain and Stokely because Stokely's great at what he does. Megan Bain's great at what she does. Together, they can be a real powerhouse duo. Though I wonder, aren't they going to put somebody with Megan Bain?
I have no idea. I just know that, like,
That would
that's
make
probably where
sense.
the
But
feud with, Stat's going,
yeah, no, yeah, but I don't know.
which is a
We'll
great
see.
first feud for Megan if
We could
that
always what we
ultimately
could
does
always
happen.
do is we could trade Willow for Megan, and Willow can come over here, so that
Hey,
you know
I'm all
that's
good with that.
shit. Like I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But okay,
I'd trade a
that's
few
enough about
people
Megan Bay
if we
for
have to
now.
make trades, but yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
we'll
if we're making trades, let's talk about trades. Um,
can we get Mariah back?
can we get Mariah back when Jamie's healthy? Can we get her? And y'all can get Ami Soren. Let's go. Okay, gauntlet
That's a
match is
great
up
trade.
next. Ami would kill it in America. I'm not gonna lie. Like she's good enough to where I think she would be decent in America, but and she's pretty and she has like that. But you know it's not that hard to be great in America.
Is
We
it
need to move
though?
on.
Because
We need
some
to.
people make it. Okay, never mind.
We're getting way off track. This is why Alex guides the show. Next up. Next up is the gauntlet match. Aphrodite ultimately won. They defeated Rina and Ruaka of Young OED and Yuzuki and Ida to win after O2 line beat the rookies and Rina and Ruaka actually beat O2 line. So
Yeah,
that was kind of the way that happened. Um, Peps actually brought up to me that it was interesting Rina pinned Miyu, um,
yeah. Pep
and
said that to me
and
too.
there were there were two kind of things I took from that, and one thing that he took from that. What he kind of took from that was that they're probably protecting an O2 line Aphrodite match, and what I took
Uh
from that
huh.
is that I took something I don't know. Oh, that I think Miyu versus Rina might be a bit further out than we were expecting. If they run that, if Yuzuki
Yeah,
doesn't just beat Rina. Um,
that'd be so real.
which yeah, we'll see. But I think that those are kind of the two things that kind of I was interested in with this gauntlet match. The match itself, there was some fun stuff in it. I kind of skimmed through this one. I didn't watch it all the way through, but there was definitely some fun stuff, especially the closing with Izuki and Ida versus Saya and Utami. I thought there was a lot of fun stuff there. But
Well,
how did you
I
feel about
did my job and I
it?
watched it all
Jesus?
the way through. And I'm here to say that I like O2 line. I think they keep getting better and better.
Mm,
Um, Azami's very good against the rookies. That was like, I think that was my favorite part of last weekend too. Was that besides the Aphrodite versus Azami and Sarah tag?
yeah.
Like one of my favorite things was just seeing the rookies work and work against real talent, not just each other,
Hmm.
right? Like, this isn't New Japan. We're not just gonna put the new guys against each other and nothing else. We're gonna put them against real wrestlers and see how they work. And
You
that's
know what's
what
Go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. No,
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead.
So, and I apologize everybody who doesn't listen to Ring Post Radio, but I
Oh,
noticed
dear
something.
God.
It was very funny. It was Ryan, Scott's beloved co-host Ryan. Uh, very great podcast. It's my favorite podcast to listen to personally. Your point was proven that they put the young guys exclusively against the young guys so much because
Yeah,
Ryan said that two young lions debuted last week. They
uh-huh.
debuted 6 months ago. They just haven't wrestled on like against people. They've
Yeah, that's
exclusively like
crazy, isn't it?
wrestled on dark matches against each other, basically, uh, or against Oscar and Yuta.
Yeah,
Like Yuto. Sorry, but like it's that. Like you're 100% right. I just thought that was a funny thing. Is that it's
yeah,
like they are so like young lions are so like kept away from everything else
mhm,
that motherfuckers who debuted 6 months ago you just don't hear about it until 6 months later.
exactly. So, like, that's why I enjoy these house shows because
Yeah.
I get to see Yagami kick Azami's head off from time to time. I get to see Sayaka Karara, poor girl, gets pinned all the time. But I
She's
get to see
so
what
good. It is
she
so sad.
is. Like, I
Because like
watch
she's
her
really
and
good.
I'm like, what? Why is she the one that always has to lose? I'm like, I'm not saying Rana or Yuzuki should either, but it's like, man, they just decided early she's the one that's losing,
It's
no
not
matter
like there's
what.
this like gigantic gap. It's like there's a gap,
No,
but it's not that big. Like she's really good.
I think her and Rana are a lot closer than people lead on to.
I would
Because
agree.
I think Rana kicks, so like people are excited for her. But Sayaka Karara does a Goldberg spear. Come on, folks.
Hmm.
Come
Yeah.
on. But I liked this match, and seeing Yuzuki and Ida together was a lot of fun. I was wondering kind of how they would work because obviously, like, there is um intrigue, I guess, to Ida's placement in Stars moving forward, as you and me have talked about. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't think she's leaving anytime soon. We have new blood champions. We have to run very, very far with Wing Gory. I don't want them losing anytime soon. Um, but I definitely think there's gonna be the intrigue's gonna be between these 2, and I really liked how they worked as a team based considering this was their first match together. I'm really looking forward to Hanan and Yuzuki, though, since they're kinda like the friends
Yeah.
of the for
Yeah,
Yuzuki. I mean,
they're like trading partners.
yeah.
They seem
In the
close.
main event, Yuzuki was in the ring, like, as soon as the bell rang at the
Mhm.
main event, and I was like, That's a real friend right there, man.
Yeah,
Come on."
it's a real homie.
But
That's a real homie.
I'm really excited to talk about that match, but we'll get there.
Yes, we will. One other note that we didn't get to talk about last week because we didn't see it, and since Alex is here, I can say it. That's the beauty of me hosting. Is because we didn't get to see the Yuzuki segment before we recorded last week, so we just kind of knew what happened. I thought the Saya's part in it was really interesting because,
Mhm.
like, as you know, you have seen the Mask Fiestas. Um, Ida is like has worked herself into a shoot of of being of being the young like vet,
Yeah, yeah,
back in the day, Oedo Tai dresses a bunch of trainees, and
yeah.
Ida, who was like 6 months in, like a year in, was their trainer, and like their senpai, and she was like yelling at them to, you know, do it right, get better, put some passion into it. And she's just that now. Like her promo after that match against the rookies was her just being like, I can't feel you guys' heart. You guys need to get better. And I think
Yeah.
that's interesting because it continues to show that she's not following in Mayu's footsteps, she's following in Hazuki's,
Mhm.
which could be an interesting thing either for stars or if there's, God forbid, a some sort of split in stars.
Yeah,
I think that it's like there are those two philosophies of,
yeah. She's gonna win
Mayu
the belt.
Mayu seeing Yuzuki and be easy. I heard that. Calm down now.
That's
Uh,
the
of
reality.
of Mayu, Yuzuki being like, I really admire Mayu. Can I join this group? Mayu being like, you like me like that? Really?
That was a great
Of
meme
course you
material,
could
by the way.
kill, like that's
Yeah,
that's Mayu's kind of philosophy on it. Whereas Suzuki is very much like, prove to me that you
yeah.
belong in a ring with me. That's like it doesn't matter if you're in my group or not. You need to prove to me that you deserve to be anywhere near me right now. And she does it in a loving way. Obviously, stars are baby faces, but I do think that there is those two sides of stars in a way of Hazuki and Ida. Ida kind of becoming like a hard ass like Hazuki is in comparison to the Mayus and the Kogumas, um, and Hanans, right? I think that's kind of
Mhm.
an interesting uh, dynamic that we will, like see with Ida and Yuzuki going forward, and all of that good jazz.
I hope
Yeah,
they
I liked what I saw from that match for sure.
I like when they run the faction matches, and I hope that they do that at New Blood, like Ida kinda they get to the point where Ida's like, "I want you to prove to me that you should be here,"
Hmm.
right? And then you just run Yuzuki and Ida, and they, probably deliver, like, this awesome New Blood match that goes, like, 8, 10 minutes. Um, but yeah, I'm very invested in what the future of this group looks like because they were stacked, and then they got more stacked. And
Hmm.
it's like, you know that's not gonna last. That's the unfortunate
Yeah,
reality of these factions, but for now, I'm gonna enjoy every bit of it because, they're just all so good. Like, sometimes just, like, let me enjoy the good group, you know? Just let me
hmm,
enjoy it. Like, we've enjoyed Stars for so long as is that I know, like, it's not gonna last, but I've enjoyed it too much, and these 2, I think, long term are gonna be a fun duo on these undercards.
totally. And Stars has that where it's like, you know, their glory days were perceived to be behind them with the Mayu Arisa led group. Um, and I'm not going to say that this new foundation of stars, this new constellation of stars, as we used to call it, is going to be better than that. But I think from a top to bottom standpoint, it is such a good group.
It
And
is.
me and you are such stars fans. We could talk about this for an hour, so we're gonna move on. But
We'll be
I,
back.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, we'll be
The main
back for the
event
main. Don't worry.
Stars.
We'll be back. We'll be back. The next match was a Wado tie, which is Starlight Kid Momo Watanabe and Natsuko Tora, so the A team of Oedo Tai, defeating Suzu Suzuki, Mai Sakurai, and Julia, who are all currently factionless in the wake of DDM dying a couple weeks ago. Starlight Kid
Yeah.
pinned Mai Sakurai with the Star Suplex in 12 minutes. Um, she's pulling that out again. Can't wait for
Mhm.
Soriano to kick out of it.
Mhm. You didn't watch this, right?
Uh, I I saw some of it. Man, DDM might be dead, but I'm still confronted with Julia and Mai Sakura against Oedo
Yeah.
Tai, which is just like it's my
The
least
wrong
favorite
trade.
combination. It's just I've never liked it, honestly. The only good member of like the only member of DDM that like I thought was good against Oedo Tai was Tekla, which is a very
Oh, are
strange
we
thing to
talking
be good
most
at.
recent DDM?
Even earlier, I didn't think that they had good chemistry against Oedo Tai.
It
But Oedo Tai also wasn't as good in
Yeah, it's
when
weird.
DDM was good.
'Cause, like, I think Shuri and Momo rock against each other, but, like,
Okay, well,
when
yeah, like
Shuri
that's
was gone by the time that happened,
exactly.
so it's kinda tough, but yeah,
And
I
and
get what
Momo
you're
was in
saying.
Queen's Quest when they had their best stuff together.
Right,
So
right.
it's like uh just on a general consensus, I just don't really see a lot out of Oedo Tai versus DDM. And now DDM
Yeah.
dead. I think Julia against Oedo Tai is still not good, and Mai
Yeah.
Sakurai against Oedo Tai is still not very good. Suzu was there, which was definitely the most positive part of it.
I will say, like, Suzu and Julia are very happy to be together right now. That was very clear to me in this match. They're just happy to be teaming. Clearly, they've been waiting for this, and I
Mhm.
don't know when whatever the initial plan was for these two in their story. I'm guessing it's probably out and not happening to the extent that they wanted it to anymore. Just based off of the rumors of Julia leaving and DDM being gone, so what felt like rather soon. Um, but between that and Momo just like kicking Julia's chest in, I had a good time. I had a fine
That's
time.
good.
And I think Momo, and Tora, and Kid will be a fine challenge for Shuri, Mirai, and Ami somewhere down the line, since they're kind of giving them all these top groups. They're not really
Yeah,
hiding away from it.
and also that's like a rivalry. Um,
Yes.
didn't they run that in the Derby and it was bad because it was a
Well, yeah,
count
they
out?
did the count out. That's why.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that
But
doesn't count.
I'm sure
That's not their
I'm sure they'll
fault.
run it again. I'm sure they'll run it again. Because yeah, I mean, DD or I keep saying DDM. God's Eye versus Oedo Tai does feel like a feud that they'll probably want to kind of follow up on. So depending on if Kid is champion or not, I could definitely see them challenging, maybe even winning down the line against God's Eye. But
I could see that. Yeah.
it's Stardom. You never really know what's about to happen. Many twists and turns in the wonderful
Right.
world of Stardom. Next up is the big one in terms of story, at least. It was Maika and Hanako defeating Mina Shirakawa and the returning Waka Tsukiyama.
It was
Maika
crazy.
pinned
They just let
Waka
Waka lose instantly.
with the Enka Atoshi too. Not
Yeah.
even she didn't even get the Angel Killer.
This
She's
woman
not good
made
enough
it
for
to
that
the
one.
semifinals of the Cinderella, and now she can't even. Ugh, so sad.
What a fall from grace. Even though we say fall from grace, she didn't win one time for so long. And then she
Yeah.
won like 5 matches in a row and then never won again.
She
That's a
pinned
lie.
the Nye, damn it.
She pinned Nanai and she pinned Ida. Those are the only two discernible pinfall
Man,
victories I remember from Waka.
that's tough. That's tough for you.
A little bit. Yeah. This is a real deep cut into last year's house shows. I'm pretty sure it was at the same house show that I made you watch that match from
Yeah.
last weekend. We watched we
Last
watched a
week.
we watched a Koguma undercard match. I made you watch that. On that same card, Ida lost to Waka and she just started throwing shit and
Yeah,
stormed backstage.
I
It was
remember
crazy.
that.
But this match, I did watch all the way through. I enjoyed this quite a bit. I thought this was kind of where I saw Hanako really putting in a lot of work against somebody who wasn't the new rookies. Because it just feels like her entire, you know, aura is, I hate using that word, but her entire aura is improved with people under
Aura.
her. Easy. I said I don't like the word. people use it too much, but just the her
Acknowledgement.
vibe has improved immensely just by their existence, not even just against them. So I really saw that here. I also saw Waka looking good. Like she didn't really miss a step. I've never been too crazy about Waka in
She
ring.
looked like Waka.
Yeah, pretty much. She looks like Waka. It was basic but good. That's pretty much the over under on the match itself. Micah and Mina had some cool stuff. Like I said, Hanako impressed me. How did you feel about this one? Before we get to the post match, obviously.
Yeah, this is the match that I thought Hanako shined the most, which
Yeah.
kinda is what she's supposed to be doing in these types of matches. And I think with her, like we said earlier, her biggest challenge is just kind of be trying to find herself rather than trying to be someone that she's not,
Hmm.
right? She's not gonna replace Megan Bayne. She's not gonna replace Jamaica. But what she can do is use her unique size and power to get ahead. And I thought this match, like she did that very well. And I think her and Micah are going to be great together. I think that's what's most important here because
Hmm.
that's going to be her role for the foreseeable future based off of what happens, of course, after this and what has been happening for a while now. But I do like that Hanako is with kind of the two people that made the most sense for her, right? Because she was teaming with Club Venus once upon a
She was
time.
the bouncer.
Yeah, and I always thought she oddly fit with them,
Hmm.
and she comfortably fits with Micah. So I'm looking forward to seeing how she grows now that she actually has like partners to lean on because that always does so much help as well. Like Jamaica grew the most when she got to do so in tag team wrestling. I always thought.
And I mean, even to a lesser extent, Lady C had some of her best early work alongside Micah and Hameka
Mhm.
in Triangle Derby and before that when she would just tag with them
I mean,
individually.
Megan Bayne
Uh,
did too with
Yeah,
Micah. Yeah,
Micah's the perfect spot for Hanako.
yeah,
And even before they started tagging together, when it looked like Micah was going to separate from DDM before DDM
yeah,
fucking died, as I like to say, um, even before that, like I was like that would probably work, just because I feel like that's someone who will really get Hanako, make the most out of Hanako,
right.
and if you follow their Twitters at all, you'll notice that Hanako, her like most beloved senior is Mina Shirakawa. Like Mina's always replying to her, always like really has her back. She's really supportive of her, very clearly. So I do think that in that sense, it works very well, and we'll talk about that now. After the match, like obviously beating Waka, so Micah grabbed the microphone and said that Club Venus kind of fucking died. You know, she's like, do y'all even exist? Like Waka, I'm happy you're back. Like it's cool that you're back, but like Mina's been grinding to try to keep this thing alive, and I don't think you guys can do it. And then
Mina was
Mina's like,
rolling through the reasons and it was so sad.
"Oh yeah, no." They both kind of like came for each other's throats.
Yeah.
It's kind of killer. Um,
Mina was like, "Yeah, well, all the foreigners left and Waka was hurt and, you know."
but then Mina goes like, But the crazy thing is that it's like that happens. Uh,
Yeah.
your friends just left you one by one. So like, I mean, Jamaica retired, DDM's dead, Megan's leaving. Do you
Yeah.
even do you have any friends anymore? Like you
You would
all
think they were
alone,
going for a
homegirl?
big title match the way they were doing
Yeah,
this.
which I kind of appreciated. And then after that, they were just kind of like, damn, I guess both of our pasts are kind of our pasts. They're behind us at this point. So they agreed to unite under a new banner. It has not yet been declared, I
No, they'll
think.
declare it Saturday. They said the first time Micah and Mina team, they'll announce the
Yeah.
name.
So yeah, they're probably beating Lady C and then declaring their name. Um, poor
Poor
Lady
girl.
C.
Poor girl.
Uh, yeah. So they decided not to decide on a name, but Mina and Micah kind of decided, you know what? Let's see how this goes together. And from there, Micah invited Hanako. Hanako started crying her eyes out. Uh, and Micah's like, "Hey, don't cry, don't cry. It makes me sad. Stop it." And Hanako just said she wants to be as strong as Micah is. Um, Mina asked if Waka was still going to follow her, and Waka said yes. She wants to tag with Hanako.
Doesn't
A
Waka look like an idiot? Just think about this though, right? Like
little bit.
Cosmic Angel's on top of the world. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna go with Mina. Faction's dead within the year. And now she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going with you, Mina. I mean, you didn't team with me when I got my first win, but yeah, I'm gonna keep going with you because
I
you
mean, that
care.
always was weird to me. I
Yeah,
mean, Cosmic Angels story, the Cosmic Angels stories that they've
yeah.
told as a faction, fucking bizarre to me. Like just overall, like a lot of
Color
them just
Nagi.
make very little sense to me. Like I get some of them like are just like very face value, and that's why I'm just like
Yeah,
I read into it too much, and it doesn't work if you do that. But some of
right.
them it's like, okay, so Tam was kind of a terrible leader, but then she
Sure.
decides, you know what? I'm going to be a good leader this one time. I'm going to help you out. And then a week later, she's like, fuck you. She's like, I am leaving. I know you just became a good leader, but no, bye.
I
Like,
mean,
that's
Mina,
hilarious to me.
not Mina. Tam was still a bad leader after that because she made
Oh,
Universe
yes.
go through the world to get in, but it's
Yeah.
still just funny, like, to think about
I
in
mean,
retrospect.
Tam had one high spot as a leader, and then immediately it backfired. Like, that's hilarious to me. Um,
Tam got this super team put around her, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm a great leader." I was like, "Ah, no, you're
I don't think
lucky."
that's,
Like,
yeah.
even when I, interviewed Sayori, she was like, "Yeah, I saw Tam crying, I felt bad," so I was just like, "Alright." It's like,
It's like, I
that's
guess
how that
we
not because I
used to be
like her,
friends.
just I felt bad, you know? I like Natsupoi kinda, not really, but, it's okay.
They're all right, you know.
Hell of a group, them Cosmic Angels are.
I thought I'd have somebody to have my back, but it turns out they just got hurt. So now we just here.
And now I'm
Um,
the leader. Look at me now, though. I got a
yeah,
belt.
pretty much, pretty much.
What's up? What's up, Poi? Sorry,
Oh
6 star.
man. Shouts out the homie. But yeah, so they invite Hanako and Waka in, and then Mina says, "Well, you know, I didn't think Club Venus was gonna fucking die today, but Xena's back," and Xena comes out, and everybody's happy. Xena's back. For us, Lion King enjoyers, we know that Daga,
Been there. Yeah.
yeah, Daga now is pretty much full time in Noah, and
He's
Daga is
king.
of course dating Xena. So Xena is very often in Japan. She's been in Japan like more than like she's been in Japan and Mexico more than she hasn't been since she left Stardom. She just hasn't wrestled. So I kind of was hoping this would happen, and I like Xena. I think Xena's pretty cool. I was hoping this would happen because it's like she's too good to just be hanging out with Daga and not wrestling. Uh,
Not wrestling,
so
though. Still.
so yeah, she's still not wrestling. She's still not booked for any cards for the next 2 weeks, as far as we know. So
She must
that's
have been in
lovely.
City, and they were like, "Here's Xena."
I was talking to Velke about that. That he's like, she probably needs to get like a proper work visa. Like she's
Yeah.
probably just like been visiting long term, pretty much, and she needs to like
Mhm.
actually be allowed to work and get paid. So
Gotta be
that's
with the
probably a
Lion
whole
King.
nother, yeah, that's probably a whole nother gimmick that she has to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Xena joins them and they become a new faction. Funnily enough, I mentioned it earlier. Me and Scott were having a watch party. We were watching some old matches and listening to some
We
old
actually watched
WWE
New
theme
Match.
songs.
We watched
Yeah, we
the
watched a new
match from
match as
last
well.
weekend. Yeah.
We watched some wrestling together, and Xavi actually alerted us that
Yeah.
that crazy shit was happening. So that's how we found out. We both found out at the exact same time, and both of our reactions were, "Really?"
Yeah. We were in the moment, I was just like, "This is what they're going with for Micah?" And then I
It
thought
felt.
about it.
Go ahead.
Good.
Okay, it felt peculiar all around
Yeah.
because it was very, and even watching the segment, it was very out of nowhere.
Mhm.
And you know, like there are certain ties here and there, but not enough to where it like makes sense. I thought that the segment did a great job of kind of like laying it out in a way that kind of makes sense, where it's like we never had beef, you know, like I think you're interesting. I think you're interesting. We don't
And
really
Micah
have
was
anything
always
popping
into
off.
Mina.
Yeah,
They
in
did not allude to that, though.
in slightly excessive ways. Actually,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure the it might not be anymore, but the most popular clip on Stardom's YouTube is Micah looking at Mina's boobs. That's
That's
it's true.
that's
It's a short. One of the most popular
uh,
videos in Stardom history is of Micah staring at Mina's boobs, and
I would
now
just
they
I,
are
you know, I'd be a pain in the ass for you, just be like, "Why do you know that?" But I'm not gonna do that.
well because analytics. Stardom analytics. You got to find out. I mean, it used to be a Yoshiko clip video. That used to be the most popular video on the
Yeah, well,
Stardom YouTube. I know these things. Okay, calm down.
mhm.
You don't gotta.
No, I
You don't gotta
believe you.
be.
I'm not shocked that you know that, like, these stats. I'm not at all.
Thank you. I think.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a mean thing. It wasn't a mean thing. I since you're not gonna tell the people, I just wanna step in for Alex here since I'm filling in for
Oh, I
Alex.
was going to. I was going to. But go ahead.
Alex wants the people to know that he'll never forget the Club Venus dance, but that the new faction is Beast. And that is the exact quote.
Which, lucky for Alex, I don't think the Club Venus dance is dead. I just don't think people are going to be doing it with Mina anymore, which hasn't been the case in like 6 months. Like,
Right.
because Mina still has her entrance, and the Club Venus dance is just Mina's entrance. Like, Mina still
That's
does
very
the
true.
dance,
Yeah, it's not like
and
it's the,
I don't
Cosmic
think
Angel entrance.
I don't think Mina's changing her gimmick all that much. You know, I think this is very
She is,
comparable.
she's a number 2 now.
Well, yeah, that part. But I think this is very comparable to TCS. In that it
Mhm.
felt kind of thrown together. I think TCS had the benefit of it being a draft, so it was like that's like it. The point is that
Yeah.
it's like this, like that was like Hana's brainchild of like she was the only person with this in mind, and I think that worked for that. I think this doesn't have that same, you know, fundamental reasoning behind it, but I do find it similar that it's kind of like a total shakeup. And I wonder, I was going to say, I'm like, I told Alex, I was like, you're probably better off not coming on the show this week because uh, I think I got to call Mina Jungle Kiona. Like
Yeah.
she's the Jungle Kiona of the situation, which
Yeah.
no Stardom wrestler wants to
She actually
be
won a
the
match
Jungle
though,
Kiona.
like, for a
Yeah,
title, so
she won a title, but it didn't last very long.
no,
It was
no, it
yeah.
did not.
So like I think that's kind of an interesting point of view I have in that it's like, Jungle Salt Nation died and it kind of got adapted into TCS, with like half of the members going to TCS. This is similar with Club Venus. Literally half the members of Club Venus are now in this group and it's gotten adapted under a new leader. So I do see parallels there.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of how they kind of pull this off, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, with TCS, Hana was like on the rocket. She was getting rocket strapped to the top at the time, and we don't know with Micah and Mina.
Well,
Like
Micah's the
after
world
this,
champion, that works
but
pretty
after
well.
this world champion run,
Yeah.
what do we do? It's very
Yeah.
just five guys in that sense. Is that
Yeah.
it's like what does Sonata do without the belt? And because of that, because Sonata's so far ahead of everybody else in his group in terms of just like standing, what does the group
Yeah.
become
There
without a world champion?
there's a natural feeling over this group of, like, underdogs,
Yeah.
um, because both Mina and Micah arguably were never supposed to be champion over the past year, and naturally they got there, right? Mina got there despite I don't think she was ever the plan at one point, and then they just kinda like, "Well, we have to do this now." You know what? I know she wasn't the plan because there was no way we were going from Saya to Mina to Tam to Mirai. That just never
Mhm.
made sense to me. And then Micah obviously wasn't the plan, right? Neither was Suzu. It
Oh,
was
definitely
always
not.
Tam versus Saya. And then it was
Suzu over
Suzu
Micah.
and right. And when had to vacate the title, everything changed and they went with the hot hand. So these two have that similarity to them. And I think Waka has an interesting aspect in that she was never like she got hot last year too, and
Mhm.
people wanting to see her win. And Hanako was the rookie that's been around the longest, but she watched someone jump over her in getting a faction. So there's like these little this little story for each of them to be connected. I do not have
I
a
mean,
story for Xena, so do not ask me
well,
for one.
I think I kind of do. I think that like what you're kind of getting at is that they all have this chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean with Xena, she came in without fanfare whatsoever. She left, you know, popular. Like people appreciate her, but she didn't leave a Mariah May.
Right.
She didn't leave a Megan Bain. So, even though I think it's kind of forcing a story in a way, I do think that she can stand in that same sense where it's like, well, she has a chip on her shoulder because people perceive others to be more deserving or make more sense as like the girl, right? Like the
Right.
one. And all these wrestlers are kind of like that. Um they're all also kind of disruptors, right? I think that's an interesting kind of wording. I hate that wording when it comes to like its actual use in like the tech world, but I
Yeah.
think it works very well in this sense where it's like uh Waka. I can't imagine that the long-term plan was for Waka to be one of the only people to have a win over Kyrie, you know, and to pin Nanai. Like she
Yeah.
forced herself to for it to like it worked because of her hard work into making a lane for herself. And
Yeah.
as you said with Mina and Mike, I think it's very similar. I think they're all kind of disruptors in that sense. I think there are a lot of similarities between them, but when we saw
Yeah.
that first picture, it was like this doesn't
No,
this
no.
doesn't work. Like how the fuck does that work? But I'm
Seeing them
definitely
together,
way go ahead.
like, in the video, like, the match, the post-match, I started to get it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
totally.
it's not natural, but neither were their runs to the top, right, between Mike and Mina. Those
Mhm.
weren't natural. And I just think, like, a group with a chip on their shoulder despite having reached the top is very interesting, right? Because the leaders proved to the rest that, maybe we weren't the first, second, or third pick, but we got there. And I'm excited to see what Mina and Micah do together more than
Mhm.
anything else. And I think that makes the most sense. Because like there's a possibility they could just be a great duo. If they ever want to run them as a duo. But right now it's okay, you're starting a new faction with the world champion, so clearly there's at least some care put into this, even if it feels very mix and match right now. If you look deeper into this group and into who the members are, it gets a little more reasonable. I do think that in the comparison to Tokyo Cyber Squad, they are missing that number three that kept them so strong.
Mhm.
Um, but we'll see what happens. There's
To be
still
fair, at that point
some people around.
there were four factions, so
Yes,
it's
that's
like
also true.
now it feels like there's 17. I know there
Yeah,
isn't, but
yeah,
it's harder to kind of, and even though the roster's gotten bigger in that sense, I still think it's kind of hard to
yeah.
designate another person, especially with
What?
Suzu kind of up in the
Yeah.
air
I
of
respectfully
who's
say
gonna go.
leave Mei Seira out of this.
Yes, I agree.
Don't
Um,
even look at her.
Mei Seira is where she
Mina.
belongs, and we will talk about Mei Seira in just a couple minutes. In fact, uh, but yeah, I'm happy with this group. I At first I was like, I don't I don't really like it that much. I
We
was
reacted at
really
the same time. We're like, "What? Why?"
yeah, it felt like a downgrade for everybody initially because I was like, okay, so Mina and Waka are no longer like Waka's the number two rookie here. She's not even a rookie no more. You know what I mean? Like
Right, she's the pin eater still.
that's rough for Waka, and this is rough for Mina. In theory, she's not the leader anymore. This is
Mhm.
rough for Micah because she went from being a founding member of of historically the winningest faction in Stardom history, basically, to being in Club Venus. That was the initial thought was that it's like that's where we're okay,
Right.
and it benefits Hanako. That's that like, at first I was like, "That's good for Hanako." Um, but the more I've kind of let it marinate, the more I've kind of thought about it when I saw the segment, when I kinda see the cards that they have coming up with just the tag matches, I get it, right? I
Mhm.
totally get where they're going with it. I'm excited. I'm excited for what it can become. Scott, I'm putting you on the spot. What's their name?
Oh, jeez. Um, it's gonna be something that I couldn't even imagine, right? Like, I'm never gonna be able to think of it. Um, do you think Venus stays in the name?
They said the last lines of the promo that they had was I look forward to working with you, Emperor or Empress, and Micah said let's let's do it together, Venus. I could see it like being like the Venus Empire or something very
Yeah.
just obvious. But I also
They'll
know
have a
that
little logo
Micah
like
and
the United
Mina,
Empire.
Empire's gonna fucking die. I hope. Bump that. No, but I also know that Micah and Mina are both nerds. They are both big like Japanese history nerds.
Mhm.
So they could go with anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Uh
It's
I don't know. I'm
unpredictable,
interested.
which is good,
Yeah.
but a little scary at the same time.
I know. It's there's a 50-50 chance that it's a terrible name and we're just going to be like, oh, "Okay." And then eventually we'll get over it, but it'll be like it definitely could have been called something better. But they also might just have a perfect name in mind.
Mhm.
Also, very quick note: I need Mina to go to sumo to to go to sumo matches as much as possible because every time she's gone, uh, she has been the good luck charm for the sumo wrestler who's a big wrestling fan. He actually went to he went to Wrestle Kingdom 2 days before the big sumo tournament started because he's that big of a fan. And
Real.
that's yeah. Uh, every time she goes, Wakamoto Haru, he does great. So I need her to go to sumo as much as possible because that's my guy. But that's just a little tangent. That's enough on that. Obviously, this group will be a hot button topic moving forward on Stardom Quest. We will uh, talk about it very frequently moving forward because obviously they have their first bunch of matches this weekend that we will talk about a little bit later um, as a unit. But now let's get to one of our shared favorite wrestlers. It was Mei Seira defeating Fukigen Death in just under 5 minutes with a at the end of a roll up exchange. This was Mei Seira's third defense
Third successful
of the
defense.
high speed title.
Yep.
I forget the Tekla one all the time.
Yeah.
um,
I forget the Hanazono one because it was
see,
I don't even remember what
I
show it happened at.
I love that one. It happened at the Osaka show because Hanazono only works Osaka, brother. Um, but yeah,
I try
I
to
really
forget
like
that
that
show.
match. Fair. Yeah, this was a sub 5 minute, high speed special. Uh, this was one of the best Fukigen singles matches she's had in several years. Um,
Respect the
def
Mayu one.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Mayu one was 2 years ago now. That's the one that I was thinking of.
Damn, it
Okay,
was?
okay,
That's crazy.
The Mayu one was like in like May of 2022,
Okay. Yeah,
or
that's
maybe a bit
crazy.
earlier. And then that was pretty much the other great Fukigen singles match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she had fine matches in the 5-star she was in a few years ago, but that's
Right.
2021 now. We're going back pretty far. One of the better Fukigen singles matches you'll see. Yoneyama. This is not even amongst the top 20, 25, 30 Yoneyama matches ever because she's one of the
No.
fucking best ever. But under this specific gimmick,
Yeah.
specifically the Fukigen one, I also think Death Yama-san had great matches. But under this specific gimmick, this was one of the best, in my opinion. I thought it was such a fun 5 minutes. I know you're not crazy about a lot of comedy, but I love when Barb gets involved in these in high speed comedy spots. I find them so funny. Like him going to poke Fukigen Death in the eyes for no reason. He's just like, man, you mother, it was just like a knee jerk reaction. He's like, I gotta poke the clown in the eyes. I
It's
just
so
found that
good. So
so
natural.
hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I've said before, Barb Sasaki is one of the best referees in professional wrestling. He is just such a natural in just like he does both of the great things referees need to do, which is kind of blend into the background when you need to, but also is such an interesting character when you like notice him. Like he's such a
Mhm.
just a very charismatic, he's the perfect third man in a match, right? I'm a big fan
Right.
of his, and yeah, I just thought this match was great. How do you feel about this match before we kind of get into some of the schematics of it and what it kind of leads to?
I know a lot of people have been down on the high speed belt for a little bit now. And I feel like if you leave this match thinking anything but we're getting on the right track, uh, you you would be wrong if you thought otherwise. Like, I think this was for a sub 5-minute match, they nailed it. Like, this is what high speed's all about, right? You pack a 10-minute match into 5 minutes. That's essentially what they did here. You got the antics of Fukigen Death, but you also got the greatness of Kaori Oniyama. You got Mei Seira, I think, really showing, like, her comfort now in singles
Hmm.
because she I still wish she got the 5-star because I think she'd just be
She
obviously
needs to
even
be in it
better.
this year. Like
Yeah, but if
I'm
she's
gonna
not in it
be
this year, I'll be
I'm gonna be
shocked
very
if she's
mad.
not.
I'm gonna be very
I would
mad
be
if she's
really
not this
shocked
year.
if she wasn't, because I think she has her stock has gone so much higher since even like, since the end of that 5-star,
Mm,
because she used the like, prelim tags to just get herself over. It never mattered who her partner was, it never mattered who she was facing. I think Mei Seira just naturally has a connection with a lot of the roster. And my hope is, and we know what the next challenge is, my hope is that she can have that breakout singles now. Because I think that's
mm.
what a lot of people are waiting for on her. She's had the breakout tags. She does it every time they put her in a big tag match. She is the star of those matches almost every single time. But she's waiting for that breakout singles. I liked the Hanazono one like you did. I liked this one a lot. The Tekla one was really upsetting. Um,
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of the match that sent people like, oh, maybe Mei Sarah's like not ready for the spot. I think
I
she
don't
is, and I think
I
it's
don't know. Like I don't know how anybody didn't. If you're gonna blame someone.
uh-huh. I know. Oh,
Um,
trust me, I know. I'm keeping my mouth shut on
and
this
hey,
podcast.
I like Tekla more than a lot of people, but
Yeah.
that
Dylan,
was
I'm
somebody's
trying to be
fault,
good.
and it wasn't the champion.
Dylan, I am trying to be good. Do not get me in trouble.
I know, I appreciate you.
Um, but I think if you were having any doubts with Mei Seira, this match is the start of her proving you wrong. And I think the next title match is going to be absolutely fantastic. And it's going to be the Mei Seira breakout singles match that we're all waiting for. Everyone points to Azumi as being the one, but there is no better matchup to have a breakout against than her next opponent. But this was really good. No complaints here. I had a blast watching it. It was an easy match to watch. Everyone that likes Stardom should watch it because it's less than 5 minutes and they pack so much in.
Yeah, and I mean, even the roster really likes it, and you could tell. I mean, Oedo Tai, never very active seconds. I mean, outside of like when they're doing big heel stuff,
Mhm.
every single member of Oedo Tai was out at ringside
Yeah.
laughing their asses off the entire time. Like, it's just like you know, Fukigen Death. I give Fukigen Death a lot of flack because I think that it's one of the weaker Yoneyama characters, and I also think it's just been around for a long time. I'm kind of getting a bit worn out on it, but it like Fukigen Death is such a funny character when it really like
Yeah.
hits. It just
Yeah.
works because Yoneyama's still such a tremendous performer. She can make pretty much anything work. I feel like, and this match was so good. The roll up exchanges was some of the best you'll ever see. Like really, like it was just so seamless. It was so fast paced. There was no like missteps or like mistimes. Everything was just it was just like they were
Yeah.
a rolling ball around the ring for a good 40 seconds, and then one of them won. And I think
What
when you can make that work so well, it's
Yeah.
so cool. And I just I appreciate this match so much. Like this is one of those matches where I'm just like, I'm gonna rate this way too high because this was just so fucking good. Like I just
Wh
love this for every second of it.
what May is learning, and I'm noticing more and more as her matches go on, is that she's learning that she does need to slow down sometimes because, like, she's so fast and, like,
Yes,
every movement she has is seamless
I mean
that
she's faster than Azumi,
yeah, which is
which is
crazy because
insane. But that's because Azumi's learned that there's a perfect
yeah,
pace to hit.
right.
Right?
And May just keeps going and going and going, like, she'll jump through the ropes, she'll do the, blockbuster, and then she'll get up, and then she'll do another move, and it's like, not everyone can keep up. We saw that in the Tekla match, right?
Yeah.
That's why that match didn't connect. It's like one was just not able to keep up with the other. Yoneyama is so smart and so used to this and still has, the high speed to keep up, that it just worked so much better because I think May has learned from her first couple title matches. And now we're seeing it every time she gets a shot. Like, she wasn't slowing down in this match because then you kinda lose what Mei Seira is all about, but she took her time, and I think that's the
Mhm.
big difference. And the more she takes her time, the greater she's going to be. She's one of the best, like, plain and simple. If you turn on a Stardom house show, more often than not, she's gonna be one of the best on that show each and every time. Um,
Totally.
and it helps to just have more singles matches, and the more singles matches she gets, the better sh off she's going to be.
No, I totally agree. I think, and not to dwell on this too much, which I love to dwell. But I think it is interesting because you're right. Like there is certain instances where she could slow down, and she does slow down, and I think she's starting to get that, and it works.
Mhm.
Um, because she knows what that means. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the issue with American wrestling is that they'll tell you to slow
It's
down,
too slow.
but then you start just like wrestling in slow motion, not
Mhm.
slowing down in the sense that you're making things breathe a little bit more.
Are we gonna
Like
make the
you're
Sky Blue
just
joke?
you could. I mean, I
Some
again,
people can't help it, man. Some people just they wrestle slow and they just can't change that.
s- yeah, but like I think that is a difference because like in
Yeah.
America, you are taught to slow down, like to really like take
Watch
it
the
in.
Mariah May match.
Yeah, like that was something that like I imagine she was told, like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you need to slow it down a little bit." And I don't think she did. I don't think she needed to slow it down. Maybe a little bit in certain instances, but she didn't need to just wrestle slower. That wasn't the
right.
point of what slowing down in wrestling, but that's getting a bit,
Especially against Aminata, like, I think Aminata could handle her
yeah.
going
I mean,
faster.
she was I'm pretty sure she wrestled Marvelous quite a bit
She did.
once upon a
She
time.
did.
Yeah. Like, I think besides the point, that's enough AEW. I know we always throw a little bit of a poke at AEW on
Hey,
every episode. I feels like, um, and hey, I thought that match was really good, but I do think that it's like when you see a great women's wrestling match in AEW, for example, the one critique I have is like you can move faster, like physically, you can
yeah,
move faster. I know this could be a bit faster of a
right,
match,
right.
and I think that is it's a subtle art that you need to learn, and Mei Seira is definitely learning how to do that properly and how to do that correctly. But as you alluded, well, first of all, Mei Seira also broke the trophy
Yep,
after the match,
yep,
and
Ross
Rossi
is like, "Oh,
laughed at her.
alright."
He's just like, "Damn, that's tough."
She just, like, put it on she just, like, put the trophy piece, like, on the trophy, she's just like, "Alright, I'll
And
take
then
my
she
picture
gave it
now."
back, and then in the main event, Shuri's like, "Oh my god, I broke it!" And then they're like, "Nah, that was May. May broke it. Don't
Yeah.
worry." She's like, "But it's broken." Uh, but as you alluded to, Mei Seira does have a upcoming defense at the Osaka show. Was it announced here or the day after? I do not remember.
She said it after this
Backstage.
yeah, she said it backstage,
Okay.
it got made official the next day.
Okay. Um, Mei Seira challenged one of the greatest high speed champions of all time, Hazuki, to a high speed title match
I
at
was not ready for that.
the Osaka show. Yeah, neither was I because and I went through and checked. Hazuki hasn't lost a singles high speed match since 2015. The first one, her first one, and it was against Koguma. So,
It's
and
insane.
even then, she hasn't been beaten in a high speed match
Right.
since 2017, which was only kind of she kind of kicked out of three. I'm not gonna lie, she kicked out, but
Mhm.
doesn't matter. So at first I was like, how is this going to work? The thing is, and I feel like we've kind of forgotten this. I forgot this until this match. Mei Seira instated high speed rules
Yes.
in her matches, which means 10-second countouts, 15-minute time limits.
Mhm. Real
So
high-speed wrestler.
yeah, which is interesting because Hazuki tried to do that, but they wouldn't let her. Back in the day, she also did. She also added in a little bit of body shaming, so I get why they didn't make it
Yeah.
an official rule. Um, do you know Hazuki's old rules for high speed?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Where it's 10-minute time limits. If you challenge once, I don't think you could challenge. There was one other one,
Yeah.
and you have to have a six pack.
Yeah, she She went
So
a
she
little
was just
extreme.
saying, "Fuck you, Yoneyama. I don't wanna face you." And then Yoneyama beat her. Yoneyama beat her. She won the championship. She beat Azumi in a three-way, which is a funny little thing. So yeah, I think the rules will kind of save them here
Mm,
because when I was thinking about this, I was like, there's a non-zero chance that Hazuki just wins because
yeah.
like that is hard to overcome. Uh, but yeah, how do you feel about that match being made? And obviously, we're both big fans of both of them, so I kind of know how you feel. But kind of take us through what you're thinking when it comes to Mei versus Hazuki.
It rocks. Like, plain and simple, this is what I want from Stardom. Let it forget the high speed title. This is what I want from Stardom. You put
Hmm.
the best against the best. I wanted Azumi versus Suzuki so bad when Azumi was going and going. And they gave us the three-way, and I understand the
And it was
history
great.
part of it. It was great, but I wanted the one-on-one match because
Totally.
I know it would have been even greater, right? You know it would have been even greater. And if there is a match to back up Mei Seira in her reign, it's going to be this one because
Mm.
Suzuki pulls no punches. Suzuki can match that speed with the way she wrestles and the intensity she brings. This is as good as it gets, I think, for Mei Seira's reign. Like, it's not going to get better than this. That's not a shot at Azumi or anything, but they've done that match. Hazuki re-entering the high speed division, even for the one match, is more exciting than most decisions they could have made. And I think they're very much trying to get behind Mei Seira in every which way, which is why they're giving her this match.
Mm.
Because Hazuki looked like she was on her way to a Wonder of Stardom title match literally a month ago. Not even a month ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know why I said a month. This is a long month.
It
Um,
is a long month.
2 weeks ago, it looked like she was getting a Wonder Stardom title match, and that doesn't seem to be the case. Obviously, right now, could be down the future. But I'm perfectly fine with getting a big Hazuki singles title match. We don't get them enough, and if Mei Seira is able to roll her up or however she beats her, it's going to be a great moment for her in continuing her growth. And Hazuki just, she rocks, and I can't stress enough how many more opportunities I'm hoping Hazuki gets this year. Um,
Mm.
whether it be obviously she had the trios title match on this show, she had the she's gonna have the high speed title match. I hope Kogo is back soon so FWC can challenge for the tag belts. And then of course what we all want, which is her challenging for the Wonder sooner rather than later. I think this could be a quietly big year for Hazuki, at least in big title matches, because the fact that we're adding in the high speed to what her usual resume is per year, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, I mean, last year was like a remarkably quiet year for Hazuki, and she still had one of the best matches in Stardom. Like, period. It's kind of insane. Um, and yeah, I feel like I also really appreciate this because Hazuki is such a near fall master that I don't think I will fully know who's winning or if this match will go to a draw until this match ends, either with one of them winning or in a draw. The reason why I say I'm kind of I'm not leaning towards it. I think Mei Seira walks away with the title, but I'm not fully against. I don't necessarily think that Hazuki is certainly not walking away with the championship. Is because I feel like with the highest speed division, the issue is just the amount of people that are in it. So and how you can tell stories with that many people or that few people rather. So when I say, "Oh, maybe Hazuki wins," I only say that because I can kind of see Hazuki winning, holding it for a couple months, and then Mei Seira climbing her way back to beating Hazuki and making it bigger,
Yeah.
which they were going to do with the Maika thing, but then that was kind of overruled, and Maika just won in December, which I think was
Yeah.
the smart decision. I could see them doing with that with May. I don't think May goes the rest of this year without the high speed championship if she does lose to Hazuki. And I
Right.
don't even think Hazuki is going to win necessarily. I will be very much on the edge of my seat for this match because like I said, Hazuki's the master of near falls. Like I'll believe it when I see it. Whoever wins this match, or if it goes to a draw.
That is the theme of this pay-per-view. It is challengers that can win the
Hmm.
match, right? You look at Maika and Saya Kamatani,
All of them. That's crazy.
it's all four of them. All four, right? I don't think there's an extra one. Yeah, all four. Like, you look at Maika and Saya Kamatani, you think Maika should win that, but you never know. We know what Saya was supposed to be doing at the end of
Mm.
last year, so you never know. You look at Starlight Kid, same situation after a quiet year. She has a real chance to hand Saori a 0, defend reign. And then of course with the future title match, I think everyone looks at that and it's like, are they ready to go all the way with Yuzuki? I don't think
The
anyone would
Yuzuki
be
shock.
shocked. The Yuzuki shock, exactly, for the future Stardom belt. Um, but with the high speed title, there, like you said, there is no one better at convincing you they're winning a match than Hazuki. And this is a match that she can actually win, right? This isn't the Saya Kamatani match where we're all going in. It's like, well, we know she's not winning because Mina's going to happen next month. And then by the end of it, I'm on the edge of my seat thinking, oh my God, Hazuki's going to win. And that's the beauty of this match. That's the beauty of what Mei Seira can learn through this match, which is a big part of this. We can always talk about like match quality and stuff like that, but this is a match for Mei Seira to learn from. And I'm hopeful, based off of the match with Fuki and Death, that she's going to deliver, which I'm pretty confident that she will.
And Mei Seira and Hazuki do have not necessarily history, but they do have a relationship to some degree.
Hmm.
Um, and like they've just I think it was in like an Instagram questionnaire. Hazuki was asked like, or I don't know what happened, but basically it was just like, oh, Mei Seira's sick. Like I would love to work with her a lot more. She's
Yeah.
insanely good, right? So it's like there's desire there, right? Which is
Yep.
always there's passion there, right? Which I think is always a great thing for these sorts of matches, which will be undercard matches. They will be. I mean, this will be sub 15 at most. It will be exactly 15. So it's not this big doesn't have that big fight feel that some matches might have. But there's a lot of care that I think will be put into it, which I'm really excited about. Um, so yeah, that's Miss Air and the high speed title. Let's move on to the main event and then move on to the show that we didn't get to watch because we have been talking a lot about this one show. But to be fair, it was a fun show.
Hey, we had to pack the minutes a little bit.
Yeah, just a tad, just a tad. The main event, Shuri Mirai and Ami Sourei defeated Hanan Mayu and Hazuki. Mirai pinned Hanan with a lariat in 16 minutes. This was exactly the finish I thought it should be because I said it last week. I think that Hanan needs to be past Ami. And I think if Ami had pinned her, it would have been her going backwards. So I think them having Mirai beat Hanan, Hanan kind of being like, okay, I need to be on Mirai's level. That's where I'm shooting
Right.
for. Whereas while Ami still kind of gets her heat back and is like, well, I helped. I helped. You're a loser because I helped. And it's like, okay, homegirl. I think that's perfect for everybody involved. I think
There's anyone that's not allowed to call someone a loser, it's Ami Sarai, but that's fine.
not saying, just saying. But yeah, yeah, I was very happy with the finish. I said it last week. I think Mirai should pin Hanan so that Hanan can kind of be shooting for Mirai and she can kind of be done with the Ami stuff. She's not done with the Ami stuff. She'll probably have to beat her again, but that's okay. Uh, I'm just
You
happy that
can
Ami didn't
squash
get
her.
it back. You know what I mean? Because like they've
Yeah.
kind of been trading back and forth, and I didn't want Ami to just for it to just keep going for another however long. So I'm happy with that part of it. The match itself was really good. Scotty, how about you tell me a little bit about it?
Hanan is fucking incredible.
She's so good. She's
Like,
so good.
I I know you've also been saying this, so it's like it's not like I have to fight Alex on this or something. Not that I think I would. I think Alex agrees that Hanan's great. Uh, but so this is just gonna be like the Hanan praise um
Mm,
circle here. But she is so ready for the next step. And this is now the second straight Artist of Stardom title match that she's had where she has been the star of the match. And yes, she has been pinned at the end both times, but she has been the star of the match. And every single time I've watched her this year alone, this 1 month, they have put her in a big spot, and she has just come up short. They are building her up for something. I am not going to jinx one of the possibilities. I will not say it, but there's no need to wait with her anymore. There is zero. Like, this is the reason Stars is so great because she is the number 3 member in the group right now, and she was the star of this match and this show that included this match specifically that included Mirai, Shuri, Mayu Iwatani, and Hazuki. Not talking about Ami Sarai, come on now. And I watch the way that she wrestles the closing to her matches, and they're so exciting. They remind me a lot of Hazuki's, right? Like,
Mhm.
she kinda convinces you that she can pull it out no matter what. It's not necessarily the same because she's not hitting the Hazuki straw or anything,
She does have
but
17 though.
she does. And I remember when she had that on Starlight Kid and the Battle Royal, and I was like, if this
Mhm.
match had
Yeah.
been live, I would have thought Hazuki was winning. I mean, Hanan was winning. Hazuki was not even in the conversation at the time, unfortunately.
Somehow you still thought she might win.
Yeah, exactly. I thought she was winning that match going into it,
So did I.
that
So did I.
matters. But Hanan has learned the best traits of the best Stars members, and she is making it part of her style while also bringing her style, right? The judo aspects and the just unbelievable ability to be a babyface. Like, she's 18 or 19 now.
She's 19.
She's 19 and she's this good. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair. I don't remember what anyone else really did in this match. Mayu and Hazuki, like, I know they were all great, but this was the
Hazuki,
Hanan show again.
considering that Hazuki and Ami was like the worst match of the 5 star, Hazuki and Ami did well together. That
Yeah.
was the one thing I noted was that, oh wow, this combo was not bad. Like it was quite good. Because historically they do not have very good chemistry, so I was surprised by
Like
that.
like, by the end of the year, Hanan should be a champion.
She is one right now, but I know what you
No,
mean.
but, like,
I
I'm
know.
not I don't want them to wait too long. Like, I understand, like, she's 19 and that's ridiculous to say, but, like, people are getting behind her. People want to see her pull off the big win, not just the new blood tag belts. She's gotta win the artist or the goddess. I know she's probably not winning the Wonder this year, but she's gotta have that match. She's gotta have that Wonder Stardom title match.
Mhm.
Just keep going with her. They clearly know it because she's just so close. And Ami Sarai can try to bully her all she wants. Get out of here. You're not even the same league, but like, just stop. I'm so excited to see what Hanan does next because she's just getting better and better and better and better. And her next big match, I know she's going to deliver again.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to bring up New Japan again and just
It's okay.
non-stardom wrestling, but she reminds me of how they bill Kosei Fujita. Um,
Mm,
because Walker, good brother Walker was bringing up that it's like Kosei Fujita was always good, like as a young lion, but then he got the technical stuff from Zach. He got the hard hitting stuff from Mikey. He got the high flying from Robbie, and he just really like absorbed everything around him, and it made him such a complete wrestler that it's like scary. And he's 21 years old. That's
right.
how Hanan feels. Like that's very
Mhm.
comparable to Hanan in the past 2 years
Yeah.
of Stardom, because she really has taken that like that undying babyface attitude of Mayu. That
Mhm.
some of the more like aggression from Hazuki. She's gotten faster, like Koguma and
She
Hazuki as
has.
well. She just really just like grabs everything from it. And I mean, her and Ida clearly are such a tremendous team together as well. You
Mhm.
know, um, and with the judo stuff, as you said, I think that is kind of like how I'd compare it. Is like a Kosei Fujita who's like, well, he's going to be the junior ace in a year,
And she's going to
and
be
she
the
should be
ace.
the ace in a year or two as well. You know, like I think that's she's just so good. She's so good.
She's the type of wrestler you give the keys and don't look back.
Yeah. I think
And
that the question has very long been, should Hanan be presented on Azumi and Starlight Kid's level? And I think that she should. Um,
she, no offense to them, but she will probably blow back past both of them in terms of
that's what I was
standing
kind of
on the
thinking in
card.
this match. When I was watching like this match, I was thinking it's like I think Hanan long term is the one.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
she's at the one.
yeah. When
So yeah.
I you were on the podcast with me on my show when we
Yes,
had
yes,
to
we
answer
talked
the
about
question
this.
about the five, and I went Suzu Hanan. I think you did too, and then it was like whatever after that.
Suzu
Maybe you
Hanan,
said
Kid,
Starlight
and then
Kid.
the rest.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
considered Kid higher, but I think you were pretty set on Hanan as the number two,
And
even with
like
Kid's
now,
popularity.
like if we're talking long term again, like
Yeah,
if they all stay healthy, Hanan might end up above Suzu, like
yep,
in the long term.
yeah,
Because
one
she's
hundred
just,
percent.
I mean, and I've talked about this. It's like I don't know how they work Starlight Kid's future
Yeah,
because like Hanan is so undisputedly better to be the heir to Stars
Mayu.
than
Yeah,
Kid ever was. You know, and I loved Stars Kid. I thought that she was great.
yeah,
I thought that there is something there,
right.
but like it's Hanan, man. Right now, it's just like that's it. That's the answer. That's the answer to
Yeah,
all the questions is Hanan.
it is, and I
Yeah.
don't like my excitement this year in Stardom has come from the young crew. It's
Mhm.
come from the new rookies. It's come from Hanan. You know, it's come from I guess I don't really consider Hanako a rookie in my brain anymore, but it comes from her, what she's doing. It comes from Azumi and Starlight Kid. I also don't because I feel like she's had so many opportunities that they haven't yet. Um,
Yeah.
and the more that they get these opportunities to shine, it's just proving that like this is the future, you know. And we can make fun of all the other companies in the world that don't go with their future immediately. I'm not going to name names, New Japan, but or TJPW, whichever you prefer. Um,
Yeah.
but it's just like I'm almost spoiled, right? Because I'm like, all right, when's Hanan gonna get the big match? Because you know that Rossi and company are willing to give them these big matches. It's not we're not in the seats of others where they're like, "Oh, when are they gonna get a win for once?" Or get the match or just like get the opportunity to wrestle in the match. We know they're coming, right? And I'm hopeful that by the end of this year, Hanan has at least a Wonder Stardom title match to her name because I think
She should.
anything less would
I
be a
feel
shame.
like the Rumble was indicative of like that's
Yeah,
got to be where they're going, at
right.
some point this year.
Because they have so
Maybe not
many
against
different names.
Kid. I don't know if Kid wins that match.
I would
Still, I'm
love
kind
to
of.
see Ano versus Hanan.
I would as well. I mean, their 5-star match was like one of
Yeah,
those dark horses, you know, like the ones that
I
nobody really
I
thinks about, but it was great.
you know, I still think with Azumi and Hanan from the
Oh
Five
yeah, I
Star.
mean that was one of
I mean, I know
like
I'm
that
talking
was
to
so insane.
you, so it's different, but like
Yeah.
if I talk to someone else, they may not agree.
But I mean, you also look at Hanan's performance in that triple threat tag from New Blood. You know, like it's just
I love that match.
she is very Hazuki like in that
Yeah,
like she has quiet periods, but when you just like look at the stuff she did do,
yeah.
it's like, dude,
She's one of the best.
come on.
She's one of the
um,
best already.
but she did not win this match. She lost.
Eye Contact should beat Aphrodite.
I
They won't,
mean,
but I wouldn't be against
I ain't trying to jinx it, but I agree. I agree. No, I agree.
it.
Um, man, that's the dream. But uh and that 10-minute match they had was like such a
Oh,
good
so
whatever.
good.
It was a great prelude to something that should have. Okay. Uh
We gotta move on.
yeah, Gazai won. Gazai won. Mariah beat
Yeah,
Hanan as she should. That makes sense. Um and the trophy yet again fell apart and Sherry
yeah.
was absolutely distraught. Uh
She's so
sorry, Sherry.
funny. She's
Shuri
so
is
funny.
such a great just like she's so funny. She is very, very funny. She's very Okada-like, where it's like in another world, she would be the great. In fact, on the Indies, she was the
Yeah.
greatest comedy wrestler.
It makes sense why her and Kana are friends, because like, if you see Kana now in
They're
WWE, she's very
just so
goofy.
cracked,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But then yeah, Ami talked shit. Hanan looked like she wanted to spit in her face. She didn't. I wish she did. It would have been
Imagine.
so badass. It would have been so badass. I would have been like, oh my god, give her everything. Give her the belt. Give her every belt. She's so cool. Look at her. Um, but no, she didn't do that. She walked off. And then Rana came into the ring, stanced up as always,
As
grabbed
always.
the mic from Shuri, requested to join God's Eye. And Shuri very sweetly said, "I was hoping you would ask. Of course you can join." And I thought that,
Real.
like, that's got to be such a nice way wording for a rookie. Is that it's like she she wanted it's so like I
Yeah.
my that warmed my heart. Um, and yeah,
Rana's gonna
that
be
was that.
incredible because now she's gonna learn from Shuri.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, man,
She's
Stardom's
filling the
Stardom's in kind of good shape right now. I'm not gonna lie,
she was filling the void that we hoped that Inaba would
man.
fully take on.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, I don't even want to think about like because I was like, oh, Rana and Shuri tag league. Then I was like, man, we used to have Inaba and Shuri tag league.
Yeah, it was sick. Karate Brave, baby. Never forget.
Such a legendary team. But yeah, and then after that, Saki was like, yo, so I'm still cool, right? And Mirai's like, yeah, y- yeah, what? What? She's like, Shuri asked you if it was okay for her to join. What? What are you talking? Like Saki's like, can I do the pose? She's like, yes, you could do the
That was
pose.
so good though.
Do the pose. Come on. And yeah, that was the end of that show. A fun show, top to bottom. There was a lot on it, lots to discuss, lots to decipher from this show. Um, the next show we did not get to watch, so it will be a little bit faster, luckily for us.
A lot faster.
Um, yeah, there was some stuff on it though, so let's just get into it. It was the Stardom Awards 2023 in Takanababa Day 2. This one drew 391 fans, so a little bit more than the first one by what, 20, 21, 22 people. In the first match, it was a three-way. Where the hell did my translation go? Here it is. Um, it was Miyu Amasaki defeating. Wait, three-way was? Oh, it's three-way tag. Yeah, three-way tag. Okay, my bad. It was a three-way tag. Miyu Amasaki and Lady C. Yes, my page doesn't translate properly. That's why this is always so hard. Um, Lady C and Miyu Amasaki defeating Sayaka Kurara and Yuna Mizumori, and also another team that was Rana and Rina.
Reno?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Rina. Interesting.
Because I remember when they announced that match, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then the day before, they were like, "Yeah, no, she's going to God's Eye." I was like, "Oh, cool, sounds good."
Yeah. Miyu Amasaki won with the Tensai, the Go to Heaven. Uh, oh yeah, Mei Seira sent the clown to heaven. That was the bit, by the way.
Yes.
Um, Miyamasaki won with the Go to Heaven or the Tensai or whatever she calls it to get a rare win for Lady C and Miyamasaki. So good for them.
It took fighting. Yeah, yeah. I won't say it.
No, I know. Next match was Mai Sakurai. The fuck is that? Mai Sakurai winning with the Escargot over Death Yama. That's not her name. Fukigen Death.
I'll never
Uh,
watch that match.
yeah, you know, I agree, but Mai Sakurai said something interesting after this match. Uh, She said she wants to work with Death further.
Oh my god, is my Sakura gonna join away to tie?
Today I won a serious battle with Fukigen, but you, even though you are a commoner, are quite strong. I hope you and I will continue to improve each other from now on. Looks like I'll be able to do it. I look forward to your continued support.
Hmm.
I mean, since Saki Kashima got betrayed, I could see them kind of pairing my Sakurai with Fukigen Death. I feel
All
like
they're
my
doing is
Sakurai
giving my
is.
Sakurai singles matches, and I am not
I'm
asking
not
for that.
watching them.
No.
But I am interested in maybe Mai Sakurai in Oedo Tai. I'm not interested in it. I think it would be pretty bad for
They
everybody
did do the
involved.
pose, and it was pretty funny,
Yeah, it was
on
funny.
the, Saturday show.
It was funny. But yeah, so she said some suspicious words about death. So maybe that will be something to keep your eye on.
Death.
Next,
Sorry.
yeah, death, Fukigen death. Classic. Yeah, the next match was Waka Tsukiyama and Mina Shirakawa winning against Saida and Yuzuki. Mina won with, I believe, the Glamorous Collection. Wait, no, this was the actual move, wasn't it? Oh no, it was the Glamorous Driver Mina, which is the thing. I'm supposed to be the
Yeah.
move guy. I completely forget what fucking
Come
move it
on,
is.
man.
Oh, it's the Bloody Sunday. The Bloody Sunday. The Bloody Sunday. That's what it is. Uh, the Inverted Bloody Sunday. So
Hate
yeah,
that move now. I used to
Mina
like it.
and Waka win a match. They're already on the upswing now that now that Club Venus is dead, so that's great.
What do you think Club Venus's win-loss record was? They must have won, like, 25% of their matches.
Uh, it was rough because they always had like bad
Waka.
anchors.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but like
Yeah.
early on they had Zaya, who would lose.
Ugh.
Then they had Waka, who would lose, but she wasn't losing at that point. They had Jessie, who would lose a lot, and Xena
Jesse was
lost
bad.
decently, and then Waka was losing a lot. So yeah, it's probably not great.
You know, when
I
you
think
say
that's
all
the
that, it
easiest thing
makes
to say.
sense that Xena's the one that they brought back.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, she's the good one who isn't signed. So,
Yeah. That you just said Zaya's good because she signed.
oh, well, no,
She signed to TNA, baby.
Jesus, that's
TNA.
on them, man. That's on them.
TNA.
That's their choice. That's their choice. That's between them and their god. I don't know about that. Uh, that's me personally. I don't know about that. The next match was Shuri Mirai and Ami Sore defeating Momo Watanabe, who was that? Ruaka and Natsuko Tora. Shuri defeated Ruaka with the drumroll, please, the Suzaku. Who would have thought? Poor Ruaka. That's my only take.
I don't know if Ruaka's ever gonna, like, get out of her role.
I think once either Momo or Kid leaves, Ruaka becomes a strong goddess challenger, if not champion.
I think she's a strong challenger for the goddess now.
I mean,
Oh,
shit, she had one of the better goddess
yeah.
tag matches last year with
Mhm.
Natsuko against Seven Up. So but in terms of power level, like I
Yeah,
think
I
that
guess you're right.
she will become what Natsuko was a couple years ago. Uh,
Yeah.
soon, hopefully, as soon as they clear the way for her, because Momo and Kid are just never going to allow any of the undercarders in Oedo Tai kind of like move up. And Saki Kashima already left, and she's kind of doing her own thing. So now it's just kind of on Rina and Ruaka to kind of suffer from uh, this kind of weird situation here. Uh, which I guess you could be said with like a lot of wrestlers on the roster, but I think Ruaka is the most notable to me because I feel like she had a place and she lost it. Like you could see where she was going and then she just wasn't going that way anymore. Because I also said this to Peps the other day. That is it's like Ruaka was the go-to partner for Starlight Kid, Natsuko Tora, and Rina. And then Momo became Natsuko's go-to partner.
Yep.
Momo became Kid's go-to partner. And
Yeah.
Fukigen became Rina's go-to partner because Saki left. So like Ruaka just is left to hang, right? I think that's where I'm like very specifically like, okay, Ruaka should probably move up sooner rather than later,
Mhm.
just to the role that Natsuko Tora had in Jungle Assault Nation. You know what I mean? Not even like to like a insane spot. Just someone who can challenge for the white belt and or the
True.
wonder or the women of honor belt, if you will. And
How
it's
dare
called
you?
back.
How
And
dare you?
get a tag run out of it. Like I think that's where Ruaka needs to go. But right now she's as stagnant as can be.
Yeah, I almost forget she's on the roster sometimes, which is,
It's
like,
a
a really
shame
sad thing to admit.
because she shows like when she shows up, she's really fun to watch. I'll 100% I'll always defend her in that sense.
The
That it's like, yeah,
problem doesn't always show up.
yes. Well,
Not her
I don't
fault
blame
though.
her. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't blame her for not really giving a fuck when she's losing a 3 minute match to fucking nobody. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
like, you know, I can't fully blame her. Next match was Megan Bain's farewell match. It was who is this? This is Julia, Suzu Suzuki, and Mei Seira defeating Hanako, Megan Bain, and Maika. Julia pinned Hanako in the lamest decision of the night of the show with a backdrop driver. They could have done literally anything, and
Uh,
I feel like Julia over Hanako. It makes sense, but given what this match was meant to be, is super lame. Like, and given the context of everything,
yeah. I you know when I first saw it, I was like, damn. So the person leaving didn't lose. The
neither
person
of the people leaving
right.
lost.
The other person, reportedly leaving won. Everyone else just stood there. I mean, I didn't see the match, so I have no idea. But they just stood there. That's upsetting. One thing I like about this match is that they just put everyone that had some sort of connection with Megan Bain in it.
Yeah,
But that was like the one thing I was happy about. But when I saw the result, I was like, man,
I mean,
you could,
I was calling for a Mei Seira over Megan Bain. I know they weren't going to do that. I get it, but they should have. I think
it would have
that's
been
like
sick.
where this should have gone. Um, because I mean, think about it. Megan Bain's only been beaten by Utami, Tam, Julia.
Yeah.
I think a token loss to Mei Seira works. You know,
It's crazy
um,
that I understand like Megan Bain's been signed to AEW this whole time, but like I don't know, Mariah May was yours, and Mariah May lost a lot more than Megan Bain did.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, she lost to Hanan last day.
Well,
That's
that's
what I
because
mean.
she's real. That's because she's real, though. Like,
Yeah,
Mariah May's real.
no, I agree.
Appreciate that.
But that is what I think they should have done is just give Mei Seira a roll up win over Meg because that would have really put Mei Seira over and it would have been like a perfect close to the Megan Bain story. For now, allegedly in Stardom.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, bet. Prove it.
man,
Come back.
I imagine she's probably on the Philly show.
Oh, that would make sense. Prove to me that this means something to you, damn it. God.
To be fair, she was a lot less final. She's like because Mariah, that's who I compare it to. Is Mariah was like, okay, bye. I loved you guys. It was so nice. I'm never coming back. I'm sorry. Like that was the vibe. Whereas Megan Bain's like, I ain't fucking done. I
Yeah.
want to kill y'all more, and
I
I
think if
appreciate that.
Megan had the choice, she would keep going right now.
Her wording was very much
Yeah.
like that, where she's like,
Yeah.
I am deeply depressed. I'm leaving. And I was like,
Like,
damn, are
listen,
you
I
supposed to
didn't
say
make this
that?
choice.
Are you supposed to say that? I feel like you shouldn't be saying that right now.
Yeah, it was nice to see Micah go to the airport with her too. So like
Oh
they
yeah,
really made a
I
connection.
think everything post this match was super sweet because Megan Bain
Yeah.
kind of got allowed, like, was kind of allowed to break kayfabe in a way and just be like the seemingly sweet girl that she is, and just be like, man, I appreciate y'all. Y'all took care of me, and it was really nice being here. Um, even just little anecdotes at the award show that we'll get into very quickly in a few minutes. Like it's just it felt like she really was allowed to just be like y'all really helped me a lot, and I appreciate that, and I think that's always very sweet. Um,
They
but
made
yeah,
her great.
she said that she's sad that she's going, but she doesn't think that she's done. Um, this isn't goodbye; it's matinee, and Micah obviously translated all of that. And obviously Micah and Megan and even Hanako cried backstage because Megan was
Yeah.
leaving.
Hanako cries a lot, I'm starting to learn.
Hanako does cry a lot. I respect it though. I respect someone who's in tune with their emotions. I feel that. I cry a lot as well. Hanako, shouts out. That was not the main event. There was another match after that. But yeah, Megan Bain is gone. She was lovely. We talked about it earlier. We're kind of running out of time, so we're not going to dive into it too much. But Megan Bain was tremendous in Stardom. She was really at first it felt like she was just like there and like kind of
Yeah.
caused another disruptor in a kayfabe sense even where she was just there and you had to deal with her and
Mhm.
certain wrestlers could do that in an entertaining way and certain wrestlers couldn't But over time, she really grew into her shoes and became like one of the highlights of most of the shows, a lot of the house shows, especially. So yeah, I
Part of
mean,
me
nothing but love to her.
really wishes that Suzume and uh Megan got like a short artist run.
Oh,
Like, you know,
100%.
how like a lot of
I mean, they were
times
the
like
best trio at that point, you know?
yeah,
Like,
like when long-term foreigners come over, they usually get like a token run of some sort. So
yeah.
it's kind of it's upsetting that she couldn't. Obviously, she got the big matches, but I would have loved if she could have
And it also seemed
got a
like
few
she was
months.
like set to leave every month, basically.
But
So I get why they were like, "We'll give you a big match, but other than that, we can't really commit because you can't commit fully."
yeah, because
Uh,
as we learned, it was a weird situation where it's like,
yeah,
she'll probably get called back at any time. And as we learned after the show, she would have preferred probably to stay a little bit longer, but it's okay. You
yeah,
know how I know that though? Because she always
mm,
said yes to staying longer.
yeah. Not only that, but like I said, she very much seemed like she was just like, "I don't want to fucking go." Like I was
Exactly.
vibing. I'm grooving over here. Um, so yeah, I could definitely see her going back at some point, whether it's with AEW's allowance or not. Uh, if she, if once that contract's over, she just is like, oh, I'm gonna do another couple tours of Japan and then do whatever I do.
I,
Like I could definitely
I
see that from her.
I know we're running out of time.
Mm.
I just want to make the point, like AW, you have been handed two superstars from
Oh
Stardom.
yeah,
Superstars. Mariah May comes in as a full package. May and Bane's now going to come back as this like unbelievable
ninety
monster.
percent full package. I would say
Right.
her
Like
promos are
this
still rough, but that's okay. Like I said,
you
still
can work around that. And
exactly.
you can have her be a silent monster in a women's division that doesn't
Could use
really
that.
have that. Yeah, it's like, don't mess this up. I know you
And
might,
she
but don't.
these wrestlers also have like this cult fan base now. Like that's
Mhm.
something about and I'm pretty again, I re-say things I said last week and before a lot, so I apologize everybody. But if you are a good foreigner in Stardom,
Yeah.
foreign Stardom fans, like Western Stardom fans, will support you.
Yep.
I mean, look at Jamie Hayter, right?
Right.
Like when she was getting beat every week in AEW, like the people who watched her in Stardom were like, "Nah, she's got something. Y'all just gotta wait." Like this is
Mhm.
like we are not giving up on her because she's one of ours type of thing. There's that
Yeah.
real passion from. I mean, I speak for myself here. That's like I will always support a Jamie Hayter, a Mariah May, and a Megan Bain
Yep.
because they were all, you know, they became so great in this system,
Mhm.
and you just have that respect and that like admiration for them. It's like I said, like it's like they're one of your own type of thing. Um,
Megan Bain
and
should not lose for a long time.
yes, yes, I feel like that should be obvious. Um, but also, I'm also scared of AEW with those long streaks because they're not very good at them. Uh, we
No.
saw what happened with Jade. Um,
But that's the
but
thing, right? Like
that's a different
Megan's
animal
a
though.
lot
That's a
better
different
than
animal though.
Jade
Yeah,
was
Jade
when
Megan
she
can have
did
like
it.
actual matches all the time. If they want her to. But yeah, like I just think that like Megan Bain is really good and she has this supportive fan base who really wants her to succeed. And it's just a matter of capitalizing on that if you're AEW. So
Mhm.
Matane to Megan Bain, she is tremendous and I hope she does very well on American TV because she deserves to. Um, they better not fuck it up. And also come back, please, whenever we will want you back, please.
Whenever Tony's not booking you, come back. So give it a few
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. The main event of the evening was a 13th anniversary special 8-person tag team match. It was Saya Kamatani, Tami Hayashishita, Hanan, and Mayu Iwatani
Super
defeating,
team, baby.
yes, defeating Hazuki, Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Saki Kashima with the moonsault.
Yeah,
Damn,
Mayu won with the
that's
moonsault on
that's a bit
Hazuki.
disrespectful. You couldn't even get it with two-step.
Mayu's all about disrespect this year.
That's true. Yeah, so it's a team of all former high speed champions who were obviously Stardom born, and a team of all
Soon to be
former and
world
future
champions.
world
Yeah,
champions.
like
Um,
they kind of give it away here.
yeah. Sorry, Kid and Ozumi.
Yeah,
Uh,
back in the line, pal.
yeah.
And
Everything I
Hazuki.
everything I saw from like all of the pictures that you'll see on like the website and all of the
Yeah.
little clips that you can find that not really many, but it just looked really fun. And I love these sort of mixed match tag teams.
Hmm.
Uh, they're always super fun. I think Kid and Azumi are kind of underrated as a duo. I think that they are like I've kind of grown cold on the singles pairing between the two of them. Them as a tag team is kind of money. I don't want to see Azumi be factioned with Kid, but their
Yeah.
team is kind of money. So it's
They
kind of
would
a
love to win tag titles, and you could
double-edged sword.
tell.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they had that tag league where it was just like, can we just never stop doing this? And they were like, no, you're eternal rivals. It's like, damn, that's tough.
Damn, that's a shame.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's seven of the best wrestlers, uh, six of the best wrestlers, and also Saki Kashima, who's one of the funniest and most like she just gets wrestling, and also Starlight Kid, who might get really good soon
We
if
need to
the
talk
injury.
about how crazy this is, though. Like, just 1 second. Saki
Okay.
Kashima lost in a handicap match to Megan Bayne the day before this,
hmm
but she couldn't be pinned by Utami, Saya, Mayu, or Hanan. Instead, they pinned the high speed challenger.
I am concerned that this is leading to cracks in stars with Hazuki specifically,
Oh
which I
boy.
don't like. I don't like that at all.
I don't
Like
even
I'm
know where
like
she'd
I've said it
go.
before. I'm cool with Ida leaving. Like I
Wait a
get it.
minute.
Like she might need to, but I don't like where this might be heading.
But what if, but hear me out. I'm not saying I want stars to break up, but hear me out. Suzu, Hazuki, and Mei Seira.
That would be where she would go.
And how, just think about how sick that team would be.
Yes. I mean, listen. Now that Micah has her own faction, I actually it is definitely Suzuki.
Mm.
If anybody's leaving stars, it's Suzuki.
Yeah, I thought it was Ida until they like gave Micah
Because
the faction like
Ida
that.
Ida with Micah would make sense.
Yeah.
I don't think Ida works with Suzu as well.
No.
So yeah, if anybody is leaving stars imminently, it is Suzuki. And this match is not a good sign for that because the leader of stars did just beat Hazuki, which could grow resentment, which it
What's
usually does.
important though is Crazy Star would stay together, and that's very important.
That's true. That's true. I was fearful that they would end up being one of the best tag teams in Stardom to disband before they won the tag belts. We might have more time on that. We'll see. I hope we do. I hope we do. But those were the award shows. Getting on to the awards really quickly. I know that we are 2 minutes away from 2 hours, so Alex is probably pulling their
We
hair
talked a
out.
little early, a little early. The full
Oh yeah, that's
recording
true. That's
wasn't
true.
2 hours.
We're
We had time.
we're nearing 2 hours. Alex is probably pulling their hair out. So we're gonna get through these awards, talk about them very quickly, and then get to the preview, which is a small preview. There's not much going on this
It's the
weekend.
pit, baby.
We're going back to the pit. Stardom Awards. The MVP, you guessed it, Tam Nakano. It is very funny that like I don't think any Westerner is like, oh yeah, Tam was undisputedly the best wrestler last year because she was hurt. And when she wasn't hurt, she wasn't doing like great work.
And one
Uh,
of the first World of Stardom title reigns ever.
yeah, like she was doing even relative to like years prior. Like I haven't been a big Tam fan in a few years now, but even compared to like 22, it was a bad year for Tam. Like in terms of
She just
everything
happened to be a double champion.
except for winning the double championship. Yeah. So I get why they ranked her here because it's Stardom Awards, but like ShuPro was a fucking mind blower to me, because I was like, she had a
Yeah.
terrible year, but like I
She won
said,
all
that's
the
that's just a
MVPs.
disconnect. That's just a
She won every
disconnect
MVP.
from me and the Japanese
ShuPro,
fan
Tokyo
base.
Sports, and now
Yeah,
Stardoms.
triple crown, if you will.
How dare you?
Which one's worth less?
Actually,
Eddie Kingston's or
Katsuhiko
this one?
Nakajima versus
Or the
Ken Nakano would
AJPW
be
one now.
sick.
Now I think about it. All the Triple Crowns not doing hot.
Yeah.
um
Well,
just
Nakajima's doing well. He's just
well,
kind
he's
of
not
weird about it.
champion. He
Well, he is,
vacated
but
that shit.
no. He just said, "I don't want to hold it until I need to go on my Rocky quest."
Okay. Best bout of Stardom in 2023 was Julia versus Megan Bayne on
Yeah,
December
this was absurd.
29th.
This was them
No,
giving Megan Bayne her
they
title.
they do that, right? Like, I mean, this has always been the case for the 5-star. They do that every year.
Yeah,
The only time I kind of agreed with that was the Maika versus Maika one, which wasn't even the best match of that year. It was just my favorite.
bro, it wasn't even the
But
best match of that show.
easy.
I don't remember the show.
I think Suzu and Julia was probably better. One for
Oh
one.
yeah, it was definitely better.
But just in terms of just like what it meant, I thought that the Miami match was better. But they do this with everything.
Yeah,
Every
they
time
do.
they give best bouts, it's very like political, even though it doesn't need to be. It
Well,
just kind of is.
everyone gets a trophy. No one gets two.
Yeah, that's true.
So
And that is why the best unit was Queen's Quest. Uh,
you
which makes
goddamn
sense
right.
because the cage match, like even though Stars was hitting on higher cylinders for most of the year, Queen's Quest had the story, they had the vibe, they had everything behind them, and I think that works, especially because Oedo Tai won last year, so them defeating Oedo Tai at their own game several times makes it like Queen's Quest obviously should have won, and they
Tommy
did,
wore
so
a
good for
suit,
them.
so that was sick.
Utami drew a lot of parallels to the Regals, which I find very funny. People were like, "Why does she kind of look like a mix of William Regal and Charlie Dempsey if they were Japanese?" That's a weird combo.
That's crazy.
Um,
That's crazy.
yeah, not my words, other people's. Next was the best tag team, which was Natsuko and Soriano. Uh, they had like two matches, but those two matches were tight, so like
Yeah, they were good.
it's fair,
Who else would you pick?
If Seven Up had wrestled like two more times, Seven Up.
I would
Like
have picked. I
really?
would have even considered. Well, like the two teams I thought of were them and Rose Gold, and I was like, well, those both lasted 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. That's the issue ultimately. Is none of the tag
Yeah.
teams were very specifically
Shout out Rose Gold
on
though.
brand.
Remember them?
Rose Gold was cool. They were cool. Special achievement was Mayu Iwatani. So instead of this year it being the person who defeats the top wrestlers without being a champion, it was just the omnipresent top wrestler in Stardom.
See, I
Um,
read it as we need to give Mayu an award.
yes, that's the beautiful thing with awards. Sometimes is that it's like in certain areas in like sumo,
Yeah,
it's very there's reasons for the awards, but in pro wrestling it's like we need to give this person an award because they did stuff but they didn't really do enough to be an MVP or something like that.
it's
Speaking
it's
of
kind of
which,
like one sec. I don't mean
go
to.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Um, I lost it. Damn it.
My bad.
I
Speaking
had
of
a
which,
good joke and it's
Mirai
gone.
Mirai grabs best skill because she needed an award
Yep.
pretty much. This breaks the
Yeah.
streak of Azumi
Oh,
pretty much
I remember
always
my
being
joke.
a. Go ahead, go ahead.
Do you remember the Tokyo Sports Awards? How they tossed Kano and like MVP and he didn't
Yes,
get a single vote.
it was
Then they're
so
like,
depressing.
and then they were like, "Here, you can have this award," and he was probably like, "Uh huh,
Like you got fighting
thanks."
spirit, yeah.
Yeah, disrespectful. And
Which
then he was like,
which works. I think fighting
"Yeah,
spirit does fit Keno because it's very much like he might not
yeah."
have been the best wrestler of the year, but he was putting in
MVP was
work.
just so mean though.
Similar, Suzu Suzuki wins fighting spirit, which she was my MVP. Like I would have put her as
Yeah,
MVP in a heartbeat, but I get her not, you know, being world champion and wonder champion and all that shit. So her getting fighting spirit was definitely valid and deserved. And then the Shining Award, which was the fan vote, was actually Micah, which I
hmm
wonder if they disqualified Tam from the fan vote because
and
you shouldn't
Poi,
get the MVP and the yeah. I
maybe
wonder if
multiple
they
people.
I wonder if this was like of the rest, which would be kind of less impressive for Micah, but it was
Yeah,
definitely deserved by Micah. Micah was uh, the hottest wrestler of the second half of last
for
year,
the sake of
and
pep, we'll give Micah the credit.
Yeah, totally. She was the hottest wrestler of the second half of last year, and she was the teammate of the hottest wrestler of the first half of last year. So, you know,
Fair point.
I think it's fair. And yeah, those were the Stardom Awards. Alex didn't let me do our own Stardom Awards last week, but you know, we here.
That's
Uh,
crazy. Well, you
you
did
should have
it. You
heard him.
just did it anyways.
Yeah, yeah. It was. They were so depressed. It was very funny. Not funny that they were depressed, just the way they sounded. It
Oh,
was very funny.
Jesus.
Um, love you, Alex.
So
Miss you. Come back soon. Uh, this weekend we have two shows to talk about very quickly before we head out.
for
First
Alex's
show,
return, the Sendai Pit.
hell yeah, me and Alex. Hopefully, if he is good to go next week, uh, we'll be talking about the Sunday Pit because that will be the show that will be uploaded by the time we record. Love that. First match at Sendai Pit will be Mei Seira versus Miyu Amasaki.
That's gonna be
That
a
could be
mess.
good. They have good chemistry together,
They
as
do.
you know.
I'm just scared. I'm scared for
Of what?
Amasaki.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be like, all right,
Think she gets eaten
please
alive?
slow down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Amasaki. I think she's doing really well lately, but
How
it's
on on a scale of 1 to Hikaru Shida versus the Inubas, how eaten alive will she be by Mei Seira?
I go with like a
Not as bad. Not as bad. There's no way that it's as bad as Shida versus the Inubas.
no. That's pretty funny. I'm gonna go like 6. I don't think it'll be too bad. I think May Sarah's like she's obviously we talked about it earlier. She's slowing down. She'll be smart enough not to just run amok on this poor girl.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. That'll be a fun match, I'm sure. I'm sure they can figure something out there. Next up is a main event in any arena. It is Mai Sakurai versus Kurara Sayaka.
That's crazy. Sakura should win. She
I
won't,
agree.
but she's better than my Sakurai is,
You know what's rare? Both Sayakas are better than Mai Sakurai is.
including Unagi.
Yes,
Nice.
that's the other Sayaka, isn't
Well, isn't there one
it?
like Gato move or something?
Oh yeah,
She's
I
also
haven't seen
better
her in
than
a
my
while,
Sakurai.
but she's pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, like she,
She has good
she
forearms or something.
yeah,
I'm pretty
she was
sure.
pretty cool as far as I remember. So yeah, that's rough for my Sakurai, but we are here. Um, she should hit the Gene Blast and win. That's my opinion. Uh, Next up. Oh, this is actually a rare instance of me being excited for a Julia versus Oedo time match. It is Julia and Suzu Suzuki versus BMI 2000, Natsuko Tora
Ooh,
and Ruaka. That could be a heater. Like
that's
that
a good
actually
one.
sounds really good if they like, but it's Sendai Pit. So
Yeah, but Suzu like tries.
yeah, but I think Ruaka actively like spites Sendai Pit.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
So like that might be. We'll
I'll
see.
hold out hope. I'll hold out
Yeah,
hope.
I'll hold out hope as well. That could be really good. Next up is a match I'm almost positive we just saw. It is Yuna Mizumori and Soriano versus Starlight Kid and Momotsunabe of Black Desire.
I don't think we did.
Oh no, that was Ano and Suzu. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
they did.
yeah, they cheated. They're like, we can't
I
leave
didn't
Adam
really care
hanging.
for that match, so this will probably be a little bit worse.
Yuna tries though.
Yeah, no, Yuna's a big effort wrestler, and I appreciate that. I always appreciate that, but you know,
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
yeah.
It'll be a mid card tag match on a Sendai Pit show.
This card is like kind of good. Like it's not
If it
like
was anywhere else, I'd be excited.
it's a fun house show outside of the Sakurai Sayaka match. Like it is a
Hey, hey,
actively fun
hey,
house show.
respect Sayaka.
Hey, I like Sayaka, but
She's gonna hit that spear, and I'm
you
gonna
got to
pop.
put her in positions to succeed, and that's not one of them.
I
um,
almost might watch it just because I want her to hit the spear on my Sakurai.
that's valid. That's valid. Actually, we need Unagi Sayaka versus Kurara Sayaka because that like Unagi taking that spear, you know she would fucking be bent into 7 pieces. It would be sick.
Yeah, it would look like a Braun Breaker spear.
She would sell the fuck out of that. That's a must. Anyway, next match is the debut of the unnamed faction led by Maika and Mina. It is Maika, Mina Shirakawa, Waka Tsukiyama, and Hanako versus Utami Hayashishita, Sayaka Mitani, Azumi, and Lady C of Queen's Quest. This is definitely a place for the new faction to pin Lady C so that they can triumphantly name themselves. Uh, it's probably just Micah over Lady C pretty easily.
Oh, I actually like their team name New Unit. I thought they were just gonna
Yeah.
keep that.
Oh, actually, I don't know if you heard. I actually got intel. I got a scoop on their new name. It is
Oh
actually
yeah.
the new breed. They're gonna come out to Marcus Corvan's theme song. You're going
See, that would be
down,
the great.
down, down, the going smooth. You know what I mean?
That would be so good. I know it's never gonna happen, but that'd be so
That's
good.
such like a specific joke.
Yep. Everyone's gonna
But
be like,
yeah,
"What?"
that's the new breed right
Go
there. That's a new breed.
listen, listen. Every Stardom Quest listener, go do yourselves a favor. Go to YouTube, look up Marcus Corvan Smooth. You will never
It
regret it.
is like such a good song,
And then look up Kung Fu Naki's theme song.
and you
You
will
might
regret.
regret it.
Yeah. Um, He's definitely not from Milwaukee. But yeah, so they will name themselves after this match, and I'm excited for that. This could be a good match. I mean, I'm interested in this quadruple here. You know what I mean? It could be
The only
interesting.
problem, Sendai Pit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad karma, by the way, that they're naming their group in the Sendai Pit.
You want to go to hell? Go to the Sendai Pit and name your faction. Uh, they should have ran Ren Narita versus Shota Umino in the pit. That would have been
Yeah.
crazy. Uh,
I just want everyone to know. I'm looking at my match guide while I'm reading these matches off because I already have them in.
hmm.
And I got confused and I read John Moxley versus Gringo Loco. And I was like, wait, what? For
Special
this
attraction
show?
match: John Moxley versus the Japan debut. It's not the Japan debut. The good company in Japan debut of Gringo Loco.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And the main event is a 5-on-5 match. We can do these now because people are getting back from injury, and also factions are kind of getting
This
loaded
should
up.
be good.
It is Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, Hanan, Saida, and Yuzuki
What a
versus
freaking group. Sorry.
I agree. Versus Mirai Amisore, Shuri Sakikashima, and Rana Yagami. This could be really fun. I think this is like a really cool combo. I think these two teams work well together. Uh,
Who pins who?
Stars should win.
Didn't answer my question. Who pins who?
I could see who's up. Who's up? Who's up right now?
I think Hazuki pins Sakikashima.
I was thinking Hazuki over Rana.
That makes more sense. I didn't
I was
read.
thinking I was thinking
See,
Hazuki or Hanan. Maybe Hanan over Rana.
my pedestal has Rana already above Saki Kashima in my interest
Nah.
levels. In my interest levels. In my
Okay,
interest levels.
okay.
Not in like obviously she won't get
See, since Saki's return, I've been like really into her. I've been appreciating her comedic
Oh,
genius
I do
a lot
too, but
more.
like I just Rana kicks people in the head.
That's true. She does. She kicked Azumi in the face one day.
Oh,
That
so
was kind of
good.
crazy.
And then like Izuki like threw her with a judo throw. It was awesome.
Yes.
All right, we should
Um,
probably finish this.
correct. Next show will be on the 28th. That is Sunday. It'll be Stardom in Tokorozawa, the Saitama Sakura Town Japan Pavilion Hall A. I don't know how Alex does this every week. Um, First match. Once again, main event in any arena. Saki Kashima versus Waka Tsukiyama. Waka pinned
That
Saki last year. That was another win. That was another win that Waka got was over Saki Kashima in the Cinderella.
that is a
I think
match.
maybe
That
maybe
is
maybe she
happening.
replaced Saki Kashima. I don't remember. Uh,
It's not that
Saki
deep.
Saki will win.
Sure.
Oh, and then your dream match. It is a three
I'm gonna
way.
kill you. I'm already gonna kill you. I already
Do you
know
know
you're
what it
probably
is?
lying. No, I don't.
Oh, it's your dream match. I'm kidding. It is your hell match. It is Kurara Sayaka
Hey, I like her.
versus Ami Sore versus Mai Sakurai.
Dear God.
I had to start high and take you low. You know what I mean? I had to take you to the river.
Oh my God. Oh, that's rough. They should have put that in the Sendai Pit.
That is dire. Yeah. Next match is uh it is Unimon and Soriano versus Young OED, Starlight Kid, and Ruaka.
Can I just
So
take a second to So Sayori picks and chooses the tour she's on, right? She's not on every
pretty
tour.
much.
Why the hell is she on this tour
Well,
and
because
not
she
the
has to
week
build to
before?
her title match next week.
Yeah, but the week before would have been so much better. I know she had an Oz show, but my god.
Yeah, she had to face
Ugh,
Crusher May Tamari. What do you know about that? That's Mad
shut
Dog
up.
Military in a battle royal. That was my birthday present. Um, it's Crusher May Tamari in 2024. It's crazy. The next match is also an interesting. Actually, this looks quite. I'm excited for this one. This is Julia, Suzu Suzuki, and Mei Seira versus the God's Eye team of Shuri, Mirai, and Rana Yagami.
That's
That's
sick.
heat. That's heat. That's heat.
That's
Like
all that's all good. That's
that's
great.
shooters. Yeah, that's everybody here. Like this is
Yeah. I love
the
that.
the the biggest fear here is a low effort Julia. That is it. Anybody
Well,
anybody else, it's like I expect there's a pretty high consistency here.
the secret
That's
is you
it's pretty
keep her
insane.
out of the match for most of it.
Yeah, she just does the high spots against Shuri. That's the move. That's the move.
There you go. That's probably what they do, truthfully. Because like Mei Sarah's gonna be in it for like half. And Suzu will be in there for like 30%. And
Yeah,
then Julia will do the rest and probably get the win.
likely because for
That's
whatever reason
yeah,
we're protecting
that's
Julia.
screwed up, man. Just she's out of here.
Yeah,
We're protecting her.
like I said, if she does the EO gimmick of her not actually going to
That'd be so
WWE
funny.
for whatever reason and just being like, "I'm still here, guys. Hi, hi. Sorry about like the spamming DDM and all that. That was my bad. I shouldn't have done that. Can I do something? That'll be the funniest thing in Stardom
She'd be
if
the
that
number
happens.
2 in Crazy Star.
Oh, Jesus, number three, Mei Seira as
Yeah,
well.
number 3. Respect.
Next up is the Queen's Quest duo of Lady C and Utami versus the Stars duo of Hazuki and Yuzuki. The new Neo Team
Oh.
Moon is here. Uh,
Oh. Okay.
yeah, so uh,
I wasn't that
Ni-
interested until you said Hazuki and Yuzuki as a duo.
it's the new Team Moon because they both have the same kanji,
Hmm.
the Moon kanji, in their names.
The Moon
Uh,
Arrow. Yuzuki.
yes, do you know that the first kanji means arrow and the second kanji means moon? That's why she's the
That's
the Moon
yes, I
Arrow.
did. She's the Moon Arrow. Moon
Just like
Arrow.
how the Northern Lights bomb is called the Northern Lights bomb because Akira Hokuto means northern bright light.
Well, Akira Hokuto's real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hazuki and Yuzuki sounds like a really fun pairing, so I'm excited to see that. And also
Imagine that
Utami
matchup,
there with those two.
and it was Utami and Azumi. Mm.
Man, why you gotta make things worse? Like,
Well, making things better. It's just they're not doing the match.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Someday.
Next up is a trios match. It is Saida, Hanan, and Mayu Utani of Stars taking on the Oedo Tai trio of Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Rina. Uh, Probably Hanan over. Wait, no, fuck, it's Ida here. So, I guess Natsuko or Momo wins. Um, have,
Yeah,
have I ever told you that stat that's like Ida's beaten Natsuko and or Momo like twice ever?
that's so sad.
Like in any combination of tag matches, she's
And
beaten them like
I could see
a
you
few
taking the
times.
time to learn that too.
I mean, it's pretty easy. It's a cage match, It's match
Yeah.
statistics.
Yeah, just
It's
look it up.
it's like disturbing. Like she's beaten them like four times ever. Like not even
That's
just
so
her
crazy.
pinning them. Just in any any semblance of a tag team match, she always gets beaten by Natsuko and Momo. So we'll see. I mean, I could see Hanan over Rina here, but I feel like the triumphing narrative is, XL over Ida because it's just how it be.
Alex is gonna kill us.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
such a
we're
long
still going.
episode for no
We're still going.
reason.
Uh, That's just how I be. I mean, I'm hosting, so
That's true.
cry me a river. Um,
Nice.
the man,
The
I got it in
scapegoat.
there.
The
I got it in there.
scapegoat.
I'm always the scapegoat. I'm always the scapegoat. I can't believe that Shooter's next feud. Oh my god, what are
Well,
we doing?
it's evil first, and then the scapegoat.
Oh man, what a legendary train of wrestlers. The main event and the last thing we will talk about today is Maika, Mina Shirakawa, and HANAKO, the unnamed unit, facing off against Sai Kamatani, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki of Queen's Quest. This is one last prelude to Maika versus Saya Kamatani, which means it will probably not be as good as it should be because they hate doing prelude matches.
Hey, I prefer you save everything for the title match.
And hey, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm cool with it. But I like this match. I was like, oh, this could be good. And I remembered, oh, Micah and Kamatani specifically phoned it in for their
Really?
prelude matches against each other. So we'll see. And I
That's
think
right.
this is also another great showing for the new unit. I think this could kind of show what we got there. So except for that
Yeah,
as
let
well,
let Mina and Saya wrestle.
they're
They'll
not going
try
to do that.
against each other. Oh, a little bit maybe.
Let Hanako run over Azumi and Miyu like a bunch of
There you
times.
go. That's
That's
the way. That's
that's
the
the
way
play.
of this getting a nice little rating and sending the fans home happy. The fans being me and you.
Hell yeah. But that's all. Luckily, because if we went any longer, I might have a death threat coming from Ireland. Um,
You're gonna have one anyways.
yeah, yeah, but that's how it be.
We did a
Thank everybody.
2 hour plus show about house shows.
Yeah, but it's the Stardom Awards, and a new
That's true.
faction, and
That's true.
I talk a lot.
Yeah, take that, Alex.
We don't get to talk that much, we don't get to talk every single week like me and Alex do. So it's like I have more to say. Uh, but yeah, that's all for the show. I hope you all enjoyed. Um, come back next week. I'm not sure if Alex will be back for the show next week. Um, if not, I will either drag Scott back on the show or I will get some other guests to entertain us all as we talk about the upcoming pay per view, the stack pay per view we kind of alluded to today, and all of the good stuff from the Sendai Pit because there will definitely be good stuff from the Sendai Pit. Um, but yeah, thanks for listening, Scott. You have any closing remarks?
I got nothing. I'm tired. Thanks for having me.
Hmm.
I hope I could replace Alex in my only way. I wasn't too snappy today. I'm actually proud of myself.
Oh,
Um,
I've heard you snap before. You were pretty even keeled.
I it's been a fine day today, so
That's
it's
good.
that's probably why. Usually when I wake up for Ring Post Radio, it's I'm fresh and ready to go. But
We've
yeah,
both had
you
a
can.
we've both had a birthday in the past week, and Alex is within the next week in two
That's
days
true.
actually.
That's
Uh,
true. So everyone
this is
say
his
happy
birthday
birthday,
present.
Alex. Yeah, editing this.
Yeah,
Uh, Tonight, or is he usually do it? Never
he
mind.
does it in the
Whatever.
morning.
Oh, okay. Well, have fun with that, Alex. But yeah, you could follow me at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter if you don't already. That's the only plug I'm gonna give today.
Yeah, we already gave the Ring Post Radio plug. Um, but yeah,
Ah,
for
damn it!
I
I
did.
didn't get to celebrate Mayu's 13th anniversary.
Oh yeah, that's why we were here. That's why I
Yeah,
invited you. Was because it
yeah.
was Mai's 13th. That's probably why
Happy
she beat
anniversary,
Azuki. It
Mayu,
was because it's Mayu, so they gave her a bigger win.
the goat.
That's Cope right there. But yeah, for Scott E Wrestling, I have been Dylan Murray. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo. You could say the
Oh, Ijo. Sorry, I completely spaced out.